Hundreds of years after a great cataclysm, humanity entered a new era with an entirely new profession: warriors who could control the power of the elements. In the Forgotten Land, at number 3 Senior High School, Qin Tianxiong, a lieutenant of the Alliance, stood before the students and demonstrated the ability of elemental extraction, drawing energy from matter. My ability can extract 57% of the iron element. Holding an iron block in his hand, Qin Tianxiong commanded, "Extract iron element." In the next instant, a stream of energy flared out from the iron block, causing the students to gasp in amazement. The iron element in his hand grew even more intense. It coiled around Qin Tianxiong's arm. He dropped the iron block and smirked. Elemental extraction isn't just about drawing out energy. Qin Tianxiong raised his fist and shouted, "Its true purpose is combat." With that, he slammed a powerful punch straight into the shield in front of him, shattering it. In a flash, both the man and the shield were sent flying backward. The students below erupted with excitement. "Whoa, that's incredible, I can't believe we're seeing something from the textbooks in real life, that's amazing." Even Gao Neng, a 12th grader from the Forgotten Land, had a look of utter shock on his face. A voice suddenly echoed, "Do you want to become strong?" Gao Neng tilted his head, trying to pinpoint the sound with a confused look. "There it is again, it's been doing this for 7 days straight, but I still have no idea where it's coming from. Am I going crazy?" The voice asked again, "Do you want to possess the greatest power in the world?" Gao Ning put his hands on his hips, thinking irritably, "Like you just give it to me if I said yes, all talk, what a loudmouth." Suddenly, a bright blue screen materialized with a mechanical beep, beep. Gao Ning was startled by the blinding light and jumped back. The mechanical voice rang out again, "Host has chosen to accept the mission, system activating, issuing mission." Gao Ning's jaw dropped. What the hell is this? A name appeared on the screen, Shen Ninger, 75%. Gao Ning wondered in confusion, what is this, Shen Ninger? The system announced again, target Shen Ninger located. Shen Ninger, who's that? I don't know anyone by that name. Wait, can't anyone else see this thing? Just then, a clear, female voice rang out, capturing everyone's attention. "Hello, everyone, my name is Shen Ninger." Qin Tianxiong clapped Shen Ninger on the shoulder and said with a smile, "This is Soldier Shen, you're all very lucky this year, she will be demonstrating elemental materialization for you." For those who don't know, materialization means turning an imagined form into a real object. Shen Ninger spoke sternly, "There's no need for pleasantries, let's just get started." Qin Tianxiong nodded, "All right, let's begin, but, I should add, she's the same age as all of you." Gao Neng was dumbfounded, his eyes glued to Shen Ninger. "Holy crap, she's real." The students below began to whisper among themselves, "I heard that only the Alliance's most brilliant geniuses can perform elemental materialization, and we get to see it in person. We can't even do elemental extraction, and she's our age and can already do materialization." Shen Ninger accidentally kicked the iron block on the ground, and her gaze immediately fixed on it. As she put on her gloves, Qin Tianxiong ordered, "Hurry up and get another ore block for Miss Shen." Shen Ninger said with a faint smile, "That won't be necessary, the Alliance's resources are limited, I'll just use this one." Then, with a flick of her wrist, she drew the ore block into the air. In the next moment, a stream of energy enveloped the rock. Gao Neng was stunned. Ranged extraction, and she's using an ore that's already been extracted from. As she worked, Shen Ninger explained, "The first step of elemental materialization is to shape the energy you've extracted into a fluid form, then, you mold it according to the image in your mind." She closed her eyes, and the ore block gradually transformed into a small dragon. It let out a roar and shot forward. The students stared, wide-eyed and open-mouthed, as it flew. Elemental materialization, so this is elemental materialization, incredible. Shen Ninger then struck the same iron shield from before. As the shield flew into the air, the dragon opened its maw and caught it. With a loud crunch, crunch, the shield was completely devoured, the crowd gasped, it ate it. The remaining iron scraps clattered to the ground. Watching the dragon's body begin to glow brighter, Gao Neng was flabbergasted. The impurities in the iron, they were refined away in an instant. As the dragon flew down to coil around Shen Ning'er, Gao Neng thought, that dragon, it's like a living furnace forged from high-temperature iron. The students behind him were trembling. I must be seeing things. I can't believe I just saw a transforming dragon snap out of it. That's elemental materialization. Principal Li cleared his throat with a satisfied smile. Ahem, excellent, Soldier Shen has truly opened everyone's eyes. He smiled at the crowd and said, I believe every one of you here desires great power, but becoming an energy warrior is not something that can be achieved overnight. To become a powerhouse like Soldier Shen, you'll have to work 100 times harder. Now, get ready for your college entrance exams. The students were instantly fired up. I'm going all out for the college entrance exams. I'll become an energy warrior, don't stop me. I'm definitely getting into the best military university this year. I'll master elemental materialization and dedicate my life to the Alliance. Principal Li threw his hand in the air and declared, this year, our 3 senior high must have at least 10 students pass the university exams. Just then, the system screen appeared again. Beep, host, please prove your power, sacrifice Shen Ning'er, use fire and fresh blood to ignite the flame of youth and illuminate the path ahead, 75%. Gao Neng was utterly bewildered. Sacrifice, what do you mean, sacrifice? His eyes widened as he screamed inwardly, are you kidding me? System reminder, 12 o'clock midnight is the optimal time to perform the sacrificial ritual. The ritual must last for at least 1 minute, fresh blood and fire are required during the process, a sacrificial circle must be drawn on the target's body. At the conclusion, shout the slogan, beautiful years, passionate youth, P.S., force may be used. Gao Neng was completely floored. It felt like he'd been struck by lightning, his whole body went rigid. Guess you think I've lived too long, huh? Just then, the sky opened up in a downpour, the students scattered. It's raining, let's go, quick, lightning, get the clothes inside. At that moment, a voice called out, Gao Neng, come over here for a second. Gao Neng looked over, surprised, Teacher Zhang. Teacher Zhang pressed a coin into his hand and whispered, I need to ask you a favor. I have to go drinking with Lieutenant Qin later. Could you cover my class for grade 10, class 3 this afternoon? Gao Neng quickly took the coin, his voice firm. Don't worry, Teacher Zhang. You can count on me, he said, then immediately turned and ran off. Teacher Zhang lowered his head, thinking to himself, a well-behaved, obedient, and smart kid like Gao Neng is a rare find. It's just a shame his family is so poor. I'll help him out however I can. As Gao Neng ran into the building, the other teachers started murmuring, Gao Neng, subbing for Teacher Zhang again. That Gao Neng kid is really something else, great grades, and so responsible, too. Thank you for the compliments, teachers, Gao Neng said, carrying a stack of books, looking every bit the model student, the top scholar, and the kid who's always willing to help. In class 10-3, the students erupted with excitement. He's so handsome. Yes, it's Senior Gao Neng subbing again today. Oh, Senior Gao Neng, if I'd known, I would have worn makeup today. Gao Neng set the stack of papers on the desk and said in a clear voice, Class President, please pass these out. A female student asked meekly, Senior Gao Neng, you never finished the story you were telling us last time, can you continue it now? Gao Neng straightened the stack of papers and replied sternly, no, you have a test first period this afternoon, covering chapters 1 through 5. The girl with purple hair asked again, Senior Gao Neng, if we take the test first period, can we listen to the story during second period? Gao Neng gently tapped her on the head, no, forget about stories, you're all about to be 11th graders, you need to study hard and try to get into a good military university. Final exams during second period. A male student thought in terror, no way, Senior Gao Neng is a demon. Meanwhile, the girl's eyes sparkled, as expected of Senior Gao Neng, he's so charming even when he's lecturing us. Senior Gao Neng, where are you going? Gao Ning held up his phone and said calmly, my phone's dead, I'm going to charge it. Class president, you're in charge of the exam. The class president nodded eagerly, yes, sir, you can count on me. He walked away under an umbrella, a bit puzzled. Why do I feel like this path is getting more and more run down? Just then, a voice called out to him, Gao Ning. He froze, thinking, crap, I got caught skipping class. When he turned around, he was stunned. Mom, what are you doing here? Gao Ning's mother, Su Xilan, smiled. Auntie Lu is moving, so I came to help her out. She propped her mop on the ground, her eyes narrowing. Isn't it class time right now? What are you doing out here? Then, her expression softened into a gentle smile. Ah, never mind, you're a big boy now, you have your own plans for things, no matter what, your mother will always support you. She dipped the mop into a bucket and continued, head home when you're done here. Auntie Lu gave us 2 eggs and a piece of meat, I'll make you something delicious tonight. Gao Ning nodded obediently, okay. A voice called from the distance, Xilan, the bathroom still needs to be cleaned. Su Xilan called back, I'm coming. She turned to leave, not forgetting to add, I have to get back to work, take care of yourself, and come home early. Gao Ning nodded, I know, Mom, don't worry. Auntie Lu walked over, oh, Gao Ning, you're here, want to come in and sit for a bit, your mom's almost done, don't worry. Gao Ning waved his hands, thank you, Auntie Lu, but I have something to do, I'll come visit another day. Watching Gao Ning leave, Auntie Lu sighed, such a good boy, he's handsome and so well-mannered, it's a shame he was born in the Forsaken Land. She sighed again, this damn place has ruined so many kids. Gao Ning walked on in silence, thinking, Auntie Lu's words might be harsh, but, she's right. He stared at the umbrella lying on the ground and muttered, someone born in the Forsaken Land can never compare to someone from the City of Hope. With my current abilities, there's no way I can change that reality. He clenched his fists, his eyes filled with determination, but even if I'm in the Forsaken Land, I have to find a way to get stronger, only by becoming strong can I give Mom a better life. The system interface suddenly popped up, making Gao Ning jump out of his skin. A line of text appeared, detecting the host's intense desire for power, a friendly reminder, the designated time for the sacrificial mission is in 9 hours and 27 minutes, what if the mission fails? Gao Ning repeated the text in his head, 9 hours and 27 minutes until the designated time. Hearing 3 beeps, Gao Ning's face went blank, I'm pretty sure you're just being dramatic, but I have no proof. Then, he tapped the screen, might as well go for it. Gao Ning threw his arm out and shouted, anything is better than being stuck in this Forsaken Land for my whole life, go big or go home. Another text box appeared, host has accepted the mission, please select a difficulty. Gao Ning asked in surprise, I get to choose the difficulty. In an instant, screens displaying percentages appeared, surrounding him, system reminder, upon mission completion, the host will undergo the ultimate ability purification rite and receive rewards based on the selected difficulty. Gao Ning's eyes widened, so that's how it works, let's see what the options are. The system beeped and began its introduction, normal difficulty, 2 suggested missions, 50% chance to obtain a primary treasure chest, 1% chance to obtain a special ability. Excellent difficulty, 1 suggested mission, 100% chance to obtain a primary treasure chest, 50% chance to obtain a special ability. Nightmare difficulty, this is where the real power is, I am the world's greatest fortune, 100% chance to obtain a primary treasure chest, 100% chance to obtain a special ability. Gao Ning stroked his chin, muttering, let's see which one to pick, normal difficulty, I'm no normal person, skip. Nightmare difficulty, 100% chance for a primary treasure chest, and 100% chance for a special ability. Staring at the nightmare option, Gao Ning was practically drooling, the rewards are perfect, it's like it was made for me. A sly grin spread across his face, but I think I'll choose excellent difficulty. Gao Ning then tapped the Excellent Difficulty option. The system immediately confirmed. Host has selected Excellent Difficulty. Upon completion, the host will undergo the Ultimate Ability Purification Rite, with a 100% chance of receiving a primary treasure chest and a 50% chance of receiving a special ability. Gao Ning glanced away. Whatever, time to check the clue. The mission's what's important. System reminder, Clue Shen Ninger is a genius, but being a genius comes at a great cost. Since childhood, Shen Ninger has endured relentless training, and she never had a happy childhood. One day, she couldn't take it anymore and ran away from home. That day, she spent the night in a filthy sewer drain, where the sound of squeaking constantly echoed in her ears. Gao Ning asked, surprised, squeaking. Gao Ning pursed his lips, thinking, that squeaking sound. Was it a mouse? I can't believe it, someone as tough as Shen Ninger is actually afraid of mice. A mischievous smirk spread across his face, but one's obviously not enough, I need to find 10 of them, or maybe 100. Seeing the murderous aura radiating from Gao Ning, the old folks nearby stared in confusion. What's with this kid, he looks like he's planning something huge. Gao Ning slung an umbrella over his shoulder and let out a smug laugh. If that doesn't work, I'll just have to find a giant rat, the biggest, nastiest, most terrifying one I can find. Yeah, that's the plan. I'm gonna catch all the most horrifying rats in the Forsaken Land and bring them back. Ha ha ha. The next morning, inside a high-rise building. Thwomp, 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 the sound echoed through the room as Shen Ninger relentlessly pounded the heavy bag in front of her. Just then, there was a knock at the door. Knock, knock. Wiping the sweat from her brow, Shen Ninger asked, Captain Qin, what is it? Qin Tianxiong stood at attention, reporting, Major Shen, just as you predicted, after I switched rooms with you, the love letters started coming in. These are the ones that were just slipped under the door. These kids really don't know when to quit, he said, holding up a thick stack of letters. Shen Ninger asked, is that all there is this time? Qin Tianxiong broke out in a sweat. Major, you're seriously underestimating the hormones on these kids. The whole floor upstairs is flooded with letters. I couldn't even find a place to stand when I went to the restroom. Shen Ninger replied coolly, just have someone take care of it. Qin Tianxiong set one letter on the table. Major, there is one you really should read. Curious. Shen Ninger let out a soft, oh. Qin Tianxiong smiled. The man who wrote this is the son of Tangde, a local bigwig. He's waiting at the hotel entrance right now. So, you see, Shen Ninger looked a bit troubled. What are you getting at? Qin Tianxiong explained, the power dynamics in the Forsaken Land are complicated. Our relationship with Hope City has grown more and more tense over the past few years, and all our military informants have been eliminated. If we could use Tangde to get some inside intelligence, it would be a huge advantage for us. Major Shen, perhaps you could make contact. Shen Ninger said nothing, simply tossing a USB drive to Qin Tianxiong. He asked in surprise, what's this? Cracking her knuckles, Shen Ninger said coldly, inside intelligence on the major powers in the Forsaken Land. Look it over, then think very carefully about our next move. Qin Tianxiong trembled, inside intelligence. He quickly backed out of the room. I'll review this at once, forgive the intrusion. Shen Ninger's eyes flashed with annoyance. A captain, daring to suggest a major resort to a honey trap, this Forsaken Land is nothing but trouble, she yelled, kicking the heavy bag with all her might. As the heavy bag hit the floor, completely torn to shreds, a satisfied smile finally spread across Shen Ninger's face. Not bad, my form is stable. She walked up to the mirror, preening, you little vixen, you are just gorgeous. A cold north wind swept through, followed by a loud achoo. A young man, shivering uncontrollably from the cold, sniffled, Brother Tang, we've been waiting for hours. I don't think Shen Ninger is coming out. The young man, Tang, snorted, you talk too much. Of course she isn't, his underling asked, confused. Then why are we still waiting? The young man named Tang clutched his bouquet of roses, speaking with immense self-satisfaction. what do you know, the colder a woman acts, the harder it is for her to resist a handsome, persistent, and caring man like myself. Tonight's rain, in particular, really highlights this young master's charisma." The lackey looked puzzled, but the rain stopped. "It's the thought that counts," he said, reaching into his pocket. His lackey immediately started brown-nosing again. "You're so poetic, Brother Tang, with your talent, you could get into any university in Hope City, easy." Tang Weiwei pulled out a USB drive, a calculating smirk on his face. University, once I hand this in, getting into any school I want will be a piece of cake." He held the bouquet high. "Now for the final step, get an internal staff keycard, walk into her room, and present my gift to her personally." His lackey took a few fearful steps back. "Go into Major Shen's room, that's basically a suicide mission." Tang Weiwei snapped, "No guts, no glory, what do you know?" Just then, his lackey pointed down the street. "Brother Tang, look who that is." Tang Weiwei glanced over and recognized him instantly. "Looks like Gao Neng. What's with that giant sack? Is he planning to bribe Captain Qin or something?" As Gao Ning walked by, the lackey whispered, "Brother Tang, I don't think he sees us." Tang Weiwei called out, "Gao Ning, hold on a sec." Gao Ning turned, a little surprised. "Oh, you're here too." He flashed a dazzling smile. "So sorry about that, you just didn't really stand out, so I didn't see you. It's not like I was ignoring you on purpose or anything." Tang Weiwei cleared his throat. "Ahem, anyway, let's get down to business. I've got a big opportunity for you, a chance to get rich overnight. Interested?" Gao Ning raised a skeptical eyebrow. "Rich overnight?" He answered eagerly, "Yeah, I'm in." Tang Weiwei was at a loss for words. "Could you at least pretend to be a little hesitant? This gives me zero sense of accomplishment." Gao Ning chuckled. "Want a do-over?" Tang Weiwei shook his head. "No, forget it, let's just get to the point." He leaned in and whispered in Gao Ning's ear, "Get me a staff keycard for this hotel, 50 alliance coins when the job is done. What do you say?" Gao Ning stroked his chin, muttering, "A staff keycard, if I get caught, they'll treat me like a common thief." Tang Weiwei immediately upped the offer, 100 alliance coins, and not a single coin more. Gao Ning instantly shook his hand. "Deal." Then, he held out his open palm. "Deposit." Tang Weiwei stared blankly. "You need a deposit for this." He quickly caved, placing the money in Gao Ning's hand. "Fine, here you go, now that I've paid, you better get it done." Gao Ning beamed, "My pleasure." With that, he hoisted the sack back onto his shoulder and walked on. On the side, the lackey was practically wagging his tail. "Brother Tang, stealing keycards is my specialty. You should have given me the 100 alliance coins." I'll do it. Tang Weiwei bopped him on the head. "Idiot, why would I steal it myself? We let him do it, so if anything goes wrong, the blame falls on him, not us." It'd be a waste not to use such a perfect fall guy. Watching Gao Ning walk away, the lackey sighed in admiration. "You're a genius, Brother Tang. Still, carrying that giant sack, he really does look like a hero who's about to take the fall." Tang Weiwei burst out laughing. "Haha, you know, now that you mention it, he really does." It wasn't long before Gao Ning entered the building's lobby. He walked up to the front desk and asked, "Excuse me, miss, are there any hourly rooms available?" The receptionist replied bluntly, "Hourly rooms, we're fully booked." "We," she said, then looked up and froze. "Huh." All she saw was Gao Ning, chin in his hand, looking right at her. He was the very definition of devastatingly handsome. She shot to her feet, stammering, yes, of course, all of our rooms are available by the hour." Then, the receptionist asked in surprise, "Oh my, you're getting a room all by yourself, sweetie?" Gao Ning nodded. "That's right," she giggled. "Heh, how cute. Are you also here to run into Shen Ninger?" "Let me tell you, she's on the 8th floor, room 808. Gao Ning chuckled. "Nope, you've got it all wrong. I'm actually here to run into Lieutenant Qin." The receptionist was stunned. "Run into Lieutenant Qin?" "That's right," Gao Ning nodded. "I can't let anyone know I'm here to sacrifice Shen Ninger," he thought. The receptionist praised him. you're such a kidder. Well, since you're so ambitious, I don't mind helping you out. Lieutenant Chin is on the 7th floor, room 708, I'll get you the room right next door, 707, okay. With that, she tapped the screen, room 707, confirmed, here's your key card. Gao Ning took the key card and left with a smile, thanks, you're the best. The receptionist beamed, I've never seen such a handsome young man before, the more I look at him, the cuter he gets. Gao Ning turned away with a sigh, TSK, 40 alliance credits down the drain just like that, what a rip-off. If I'd known, I would have just waited in the lobby for a few more hours. He quickly pieced the information together in his head, room 808, Shen Ninger's room, where Qin Tianxiong currently is, room 707, Gao Ning's room, room 708, Qin Tianxiong's room, where Shen Ninger currently is. Gao Ning entered room 707 and immediately sank into a warm bath. I already blew 40 alliance credits, I'd be a fool not to get my money's worth. Looking at the phone on the table, Gao Ning thought, it's obvious Tang Weiwei is here for Shen Ninger, claiming he's here for Lieutenant Qin, even a ghost could see right through that lie. He turned to the wriggling sack and said with a smile, he clearly wants to use me as a pawn, only a fool would believe a word Tang Weiwei says, but since you're delivering money right to my doorstep, it would be rude of me to refuse. An hour later, Tang Weiwei and his goon were still shivering in the cold wind downstairs. He ground his teeth, damn you, Gao Ning, how dare you trick this young master, just you wait, I'll make you pay tomorrow. Then, Tang Weiwei yelled, you, go in there and get me an internal staff key card. The goon was stunned, me, I'll go. He sidled up to Tang Weiwei, his eyes full of anticipation, so, if I manage to steal a staff key card, do I get 100 alliance credits, too? Tang Weiwei raised an eyebrow, you want money too, are you as handsome as Gao Ning, as talented as him, you've got no looks and no skills, what gives you the right to bargain with me, you piece of shit, if you don't get that key card, this young master will cripple you. 10 minutes later, a black key card with the words, welcome, internal staff, was in Tang Weiwei's hands. Tang Weiwei laughed with satisfaction, good work, I'll buy you a new set of clothes tomorrow. The goon bowed deeply, thank you, boss Tang. He clutched the staff key card, a smirk playing on his lips, the moment has finally arrived. Tang Weiwei slicked back his hair, today is the most important moment of my life. He could almost see Shen Ninger before him, I'm in love, the moment I first laid eyes on her, I fell into an ocean of love. For love, I would brave a mountain of swords and a sea of fire. With that, Tang Weiwei stepped up to the door of room 808. My youth will have no regrets, Tang Weiwei took a deep breath. He swiped the card, my beloved, I'm coming. Tang Weiwei clutched a rose tightly as the air around him seemed to fill with pink, heart-shaped bubbles. As soon as he stepped into the room, Tang Weiwei blushed, this is. A nosebleed streamed down his face, this must be a gift from the heavens, it'd be harder to fail than to succeed. Hearing the bathroom door open, Tang Weiwei thought excitedly, she's coming, she's finally coming. Seeing the figure in a bathrobe, Tang Weiwei's face lit up with joy, such a slender, graceful figure. He swept his bangs back, thinking smugly, those country bumpkins will never understand, the secret to love at first sight lies in the suspension bridge effect, the hero and heroine must always go through an unexpected, heart-pounding experience to fall in love, and I, Tang Weiwei, am a true master of romance. With that thought, Tang Weiwei tapped lightly on the door. On the other side, the person drying their hair heard the sound and froze completely. Tang Weiwei was practically buzzing with excitement, this is it. As the person turned around, time itself seemed to slow to a crawl. Tang Weiwei lunged forward, the feeling of first love is all about creating surprise and making the heart pound. He yanked the sash of the person's bathrobe, thinking, right now, Shen Ninger must be totally stunned, her heart is racing from the surprise and awkwardness I've created. This is the perfect moment to confess, as the bathrobe fell away, Tang Weiwei dropped to one knee and shouted, "I love you." For 10,000 years, Tang Weiwei yelled, tossing rose petals into the air, his voice filled with passion. And beyond, he continued, completely unaware that the veins on the man standing before him were bulging with rage. "Perfect, in another second, she's going to scream, but I've already prepared the perfect line to show off my extraordinary masculine charm. And a minute after that, the owner of that scream will be deeply in love with me. Go on, scream for me." Tang Weiwei waited in anticipation. But as a foot stepped forward, he felt that something was very wrong. Tang Weiwei looked up and was met with the sight of a muscular, stark-naked man. Tang Weiwei was completely petrified. Oh, shit. The sight before his eyes was indescribable. It took Tang Weiwei a few seconds before he let out a terrified scream, "Ah!" Immediately after, a foot came crashing into his face. "You goddamn bastard. For, who the fuck did you say you love?" The thunderous kick sent Tang Weiwei flying. The entire apartment building shook from the furious roar, "Get the hell out." The two security guards downstairs were instantly on alert. What was that? Where did that sound come from? This is bad. That's Captain Qin, enemy attack. And so, they rushed upstairs. Hurry, 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 protect Lieutenant Qin. Inside, Tang Weiwei was desperately clinging to Qin Tianxiong's leg. "Lieutenant Qin, sir, please, let me explain." Qin Tianxiong struggled to push him off. "Let go." Tang Weiwei clung to him like a leech, trembling as he pleaded, "Lieutenant Qin, it's not what you think, my dad." Qin Tianxiong roared in frustration, "Get off me, let me put on some clothes." Just then, the security team burst through the door, asking frantically, "Captain, are you all right?" The scene inside the room left them stunned. Tang Weiwei was still sobbing, "Lieutenant Qin, please let me explain," while Qin Tianxiong kept yelling, "Let go of me, didn't you hear me say let go?" The security guards' faces immediately turned beet red. Qin Tianxiong and Tang Weiwei froze as well. A deathly silence fell over the room. The security team hastily backed out, leaving only a few words behind. "Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, have a good night." As soon as they were outside, they started snickering, "So the captain's into that kind of thing, that pretty boy, he's so pale, too, tsk, tisk." 1 minute earlier, in room 707, Gao Neng, sitting on the floor below, had heard the shouting, "Protect Lieutenant Qin," he thought in surprise, "What the hell, why did Lieutenant Qin run upstairs?" He went to open his door, and as soon as he looked out, his eyes widened. He saw Shen Ninger walking around on his floor. Gao Neng was dumbfounded. "Shen Ninger, what's she doing here?" A confused look crossed his face. What kind of plot is this? The 8th floor upstairs is actually where Qin Tianxiong is staying. Gao Neng frowned, thinking to himself, in that case, Shen Ninger must be the one in room 708. His expression darkened. Whatever's happening upstairs, I don't care, I absolutely cannot miss this opportunity. 10 minutes later, in Shen Ninger's room, Gao Ning dropped a sack on the floor. He climbed in through the window and let out a sigh of relief. Phew, finally made it in, I'm really not cut out for this kind of work. Seeing the broken punching bag on the floor, Gao Ning's face paled. Looks like I was right, this is definitely Shen Ninger's room. Just then, Gao Ning spotted something on the table. He immediately picked it up to take a look. Gao Ning recognized it instantly. This is Ninger's high-density energy storage capsule. If I took this outside, it would sell for at least several thousand alliance coins. Calm down, it was hard enough just to sneak in here. First things first, I need to find a safe place to hide. With that, Gao Ning began searching the room. Finally, he stopped in front of a large wooden wardrobe. After looking all over, this is the only place I can hide. Just then, the sound of a door unlocking clicked through the air. Click, click, Gao Ning flinched. Oh, crap, she's back. With no time to hesitate, he hurriedly opened the wardrobe. By the time Shen Ninger walked in, Gao Neng had already managed to hide inside. The clack of high heels grew closer. Huddled inside the wardrobe, Gao Ning tried to calm himself. Stay calm, I'm sure I didn't leave any traces outside, Shen Ninger probably won't find me. The sound of rushing water started up, that's the shower, she's taking a bath. He clasped his hands in prayer, I just hope this girl goes straight to bed after her shower. 10 minutes later, Shen Ninger emerged, wrapped in a towel. She slowly approached the wardrobe. Clack, Gao Ning guessed to himself, from the sound of her footsteps, she must be out. As the footsteps drew nearer and nearer, Gao Ning panicked, shit, she's coming this way, no way, you've got to be kidding me. He burrowed deeper into the pile of clothes, his face fraught with worry. He could only watch as Shen Ninger swung the door wide open, her face covered with a mask and 2 large cucumber slices over her eyes. She reached a hand inside, fumbling around for a moment. Seeing the hand about to touch him, Gao Ning broke out in a cold sweat, I'm dead, I'm so dead. But just as she was about to touch him, Shen Ninger suddenly stopped. She raised her hand and adjusted the cucumber slice on her eye. Shen Ninger pulled out a pink bunny outfit, gleefully singing, little bunny, open the door, hurry, hurry, open up, big sis wants to come in. Inside, Gao Ning was drenched in sweat, he stared at the pajamas in her hand, a little surprised, this bunny costume, is her sleepwear, Shen Ninger has this kind of taste. Face mask and cucumbers. After changing, Shen Ninger flopped onto the bed with satisfaction, she spread her arms wide and let out a comfortable sigh, now this is what being a girl is all about. 1. Shen Ninger's eyes were squeezed shut, a single drop of water fell from above, landing on her forehead, drip. 2. The damp, dark place reeked of a foul stench, drip, drop. 3. A young Shen Ninger cowered in the corner, her eyes filled with terror. 4. Then, a piercing squeak echoed out as pair after pair of blood-red eyes turned towards her, a terrified Shen Ninger scrambled backward, screaming, no, no, don't come any closer. 5. Don't come any closer, her mouth fell open as she jolted awake, having only been asleep for a moment. 6. Shen Ninger shot up in bed, finally realizing where she was. 7. Her face was etched with exhaustion, that dream again. 8. Just then, the soft sound of dripping water echoed in her ears again. 9. Drip, drop, Shen Ninger quickly covered her nose, this smell, this sound, no way. 10. She rushed over to the service desk and snatched up the phone. 11. Her whole body trembled as she spoke into the receiver, hello, hello, room service, hello, can you hear me? She didn't notice that Gao Ning had cut the phone line long ago. 12. A moment later, a familiar squeak made Shen Ninger freeze in place. 13. She whipped her head around and saw something trembling uncontrollably behind her. 14. The image of those blood-red eyes flashed in her mind, and Shen Ninger frantically pulled the blanket over her head. 15. A giant sewer rat lifted its head, looking all around. 16. Shen Ninger felt like thousands of rats were crawling all over her. 17. Her eyes flew open, filled with utter panic. 18. Shen Ninger threw the blanket off with a violent heave, screaming, get out. 19. Small rats were flung against the wall, squeaking relentlessly, squeak, squeak. 20. Shaking uncontrollably, Shen Ninger thought, a dream, I must be dreaming. 21. With that thought, she leaped out of bed and ran. 22. The very next second, all the color drained from her face. 23. A giant rat was blocking the doorway, though she had no idea when it got there. 24. Shen Ninger collapsed to the floor, crying out in fear, stay back, stay away from me. 25. The giant rat let out a sharp squeak and lunged at her. 26. She threw a powerful punch right into its stomach. 27. The rat was sent flying into the wall, cracking the plaster. 28. Shen Ninger panted heavily, her expression like she was facing her mortal enemy. 29. The rat she'd punched lay sprawled on the ground, completely still. 30. But a moment later, its eyes snapped open. 31. Seeing the giant rat get back up, Shen Ninger slumped to the floor in terror, its blood-red eyes stared straight at her as she trembled. Don't come any closer, please, I'm begging you. 32. The rat immediately let out a ferocious shriek. 33. Tears and snot streamed down Shen Ninger's face as she stared at it with wide, terrified eyes. 34. She swayed on her feet before collapsing backward onto the floor. 35. Seeing its opponent pass out before the fight even started, the rat seemed baffled. 36. He leaned in close and called out softly, "Hey, Shen Ninger." 37. After a while, Gao Ning saw no signs of her waking up. 38. Only then did Gao Ning feel safe enough to take off the rat costume. 39. Ugh, that hurts. He clutched his chest where Shen Ninger had punched him, groaning in pain. 40. Wiping a trickle of blood from the corner of his mouth, Gao Ning thought, that palm strike, it's way too abnormal. 41. Looking at the dented piece of metal on the floor, Gao Ning couldn't help but feel a shiver of fear. Using a weaponized childhood trauma like this to scare her, and she almost killed me with a single blow. 42. He leaned against the wall and said to himself, still, the ritual can finally begin. As his lackey helped him outside, Tang Weiwei roared in fury, "Qin Tianxiong, you'll remember this." His lackey said anxiously, "Boss Tang, we should get out of here, if something else goes wrong." Tang Weiwei grabbed him by the collar, roaring, "What's there to be afraid of? I'm the one who got beaten up, so what the hell are you so scared of?" The lackey choked, "Cough, cough, Boss Tang, calm down, Boss Tang." Tang Weiwei stormed off in a rage, "There's no way I'm just leaving like this today." His lackey rushed to stop him, "Boss, don't be rash, Qin Tianxiong already warned us." Tang Weiwei's eyes blazed with fury, a warning. That's all Qin Tianxiong dares to do. If he wants a piece of the Forsaken Lands, no one can help him but my father. The lackey was stunned. "What, Boss Tang, are you saying Qin Tianxiong wants a piece of the Forsaken Lands?" Tang Weiwei sneered, "Here in the Forsaken Lands, order collapsed a long time ago, the three great powers are the true rulers now." He wiped the blood from his mouth and said smugly, "The Alliance, if they want to control the Forsaken Lands, they'll have to team up with one of the three great powers." It dawned on his lackey, "You mean, the Alliance is going to choose?" Tang Weiwei said confidently, "You don't need to worry about that, the point is, they have every reason to choose us," but his lackey was still worried, "Boss Tang, Shen Ninger is military, what if?" Tang Weiwei clenched his fist, "So what if she's military, so what if it's Hope City? As long as I hold this in my hand, even the army won't dare to touch me. She's just one soldier, no matter how much of a genius she is, what kind of connections could she possibly have?" He licked his lips, his eyes filled with greed. "Once what's done is done tonight, the Alliance will have no choice but to play along. After that, I'll just sweet-talk her a little, we'll get engaged, and tell me, won't the military be on my side then?" The lackey's eyes lit up, "Boss Tang, you're a genius. When you go to Hope City, you have to take me, with you." Tang Weiwei smirked, "Bring you along, we'll see how you perform." He pulled a vial from inside his coat. "Shen Ninger should be asleep by now, it's about time to make my move." Staring at the liquid inside, Tang Weiwei gloated, "With this, nightfall so lure, even a goddess wouldn't be able to resist." In the bedroom, Gao Ning gently placed Shen Ninger on the floor. He wiped the sweat from his brow and glanced at the recorder in his hand. "Man, an hour in that sewer was totally worth it, the sound quality is incredibly atmospheric." Glancing at the clock on the wall, Gao Ning thought, "It's almost time for the ritual offering, better get ready." The ritual requires fresh blood and fire, candles count as fire, I guess, and for fresh blood, I'll have to make do with the chicken blood I got from the market. Gao Ning positioned Shen Ninger in the center of the circle and started rummaging through his backpack. He pulled out a paintbrush and drew several bright red streaks across Shen Ninger's face. When he was done, Gao Ning thought with satisfaction, yep, that's me, a genius in the arts, as well. He wiped his nose and cleared his throat, ahem. The final step, the incantation. Gao Ning cleared his throat and bellowed, golden years, passionate youth. The hands on the clock ticked onward. But the room remained silent. Gao Ning's brow furrowed in confusion. What's happening? Where's the reward I was promised? Is there no trust left in this world? Just then, a system notification popped up, ding, offering failed, incantation lacked volume, please shout the incantation louder, failure to comply within 20 seconds will result in mission failure. Are you kidding me? Gao Ning cursed, you want me to shout at the top of my lungs in the middle of the night? He sighed, gathering his inner energy, well, no choice now, I've come too far to quit. Gritting his teeth, Gao Ning roared, GOL. Just then, a strange fragrance filled his nostrils. Gao Ning froze, huh. He quickly clamped a hand over his nose, recognizing it instantly, this is, Nightfall Solure. Gao Ning's eyes darted to the doorknob. Outside the door, Tang Weiwei ordered, stand guard. His lackey nodded, yes, Boss Tang, you can count on me. Then, Tang Weiwei suddenly froze. He saw Gao Ning sprawled on the floor, looking like he'd been drugged, Gao Ning. Tang Weiwei slapped his forehead, oh, crap, did I get the wrong room again? That's not it, yelled from behind, Boss Tang, look. Shen Ninger. Tang Weiwei stared in disbelief at her, lying in the middle of some strange ritual circle. His mind was a mess. Wait, what the hell is happening? Let me get this straight, are you two, having a candlelight dinner? No, that can't be it, why is Gao Ning here? Tang Weiwei whirled around and pointed an accusing finger at Gao Ning. Gao Ning, you have a lot of nerve, sneaking into Shen Ninger's room, what did you do to her, and what's with her face? Gao Ning's head was spinning, so dizzy, I can't even move. A smirk spread across Tang Weiwei's face, looking at you now, it seems you breathed in some of this young master's special incense. He bent down, gloating, Gao Ning, you're the perfect scapegoat, after I wash Shen Ninger up and have my fun, everything that happens in this room will be your fault. And I will be the hero who rescued her, ha ha ha, Tang Weiwei roared with laughter. Gao Ning's hands tightened into fists as he took a deep, ragged breath. His roar echoed through the building, golden years, passionate youth. Chao Ning clenched his fists and screamed with all his might, the best years of our lives, the passion of youth. The second he finished shouting, Chao Ning collapsed to the ground as if all his strength had left him. Tang Weiwei clamped his hands over his ears and swore in confusion, damn it, what kind of weird-ass chant was that? For, a second later, his face fell, oh, crap, that shout is going to bring people running over here. He quickly ordered a C, pin him down, don't you dare let him escape. A C nodded, got it. The two of them pinned Chao Ning to the ground. With all this noise, getting Shen Ninger is hopeless now, Tang Weiwei growled in frustration, but at least I can still claim the title of her gallant protector. Chao Ning gritted his teeth, why isn't it complete yet, did that piece of crap system really screw me over? Just then, the system screen appeared, a smirk played on Chao Ning's lips, there it is. System notification, host has successfully passed the trial, mission, sacrifice Shen Ninger, complete. His information appeared on the screen, name, Chao Ning, age, 18. Basic information, the Forsaken Land, No. 3 Senior High School, student, class 12-3. Vitality, 25/101, max, spirit power, 10/50, max, latent talent, iron 19%, copper 1%, tin 3%, silver 1%, gold 0%, phosphorus 1%, sulfur 1%, silicon 8%, the higher the talent, the greater the affinity for energy sources. Special abilities, none, evolution, 1 out of 10 complete, system analysis results, host's appearance score, perfect, vitality score, average, spirit power score, average, latent talent, low tier. Chao Ning let out a sharp breath. Are you kidding me? Perfect appearance, at least you got something right. I can live with average vitality and spirit power, but low tier latent talent, did you get me mixed up with someone else? Staring at the pitiful numbers, Chao Ning cursed under his breath. My highest affinity is iron, and it's only 19%, what the hell is this crap? System notification, mission completion rating, excellent, host has triggered the ultimate ability baptism, 100% chance to obtain a beginner treasure chest, 50% chance to obtain a special ability. Initiating ultimate ability baptism. Chao Ning's eyes widened, ultimate. A mechanical voice echoed from the system, acquiring latent talent from sacrificial target, Shen Ninger. Analysis conclusion, Shen Ninger possesses a latent talent that surpasses the top tier. Successfully replicating Shen Ninger's latent talent. Beginning enhancement of the replicated latent talent. Enhancement successful, updating latent talent data. Watching his stats skyrocket, Chao Ning exclaimed in delight, it's going up, it's really going up. As the system announced, update complete, Chao Ning felt himself falling into an endless void. Latent talent updated, iron, 100%, copper, 100%, tin, 100%, silver, 100%, gold, 100%, phosphorus, 100%, sulfur, 100%, silicon, 100%. Chao Ning was stunned, my latent talent is completely maxed out. Then, the system displayed another notification, evolution, 1 out of 10, Chao Ning was taken aback, wait, what does this evolution thing mean? He fell into deep thought, is this my evolution progress, so does 10/10 mean the evolution is complete, how do I speed it up, by completing missions? No, the most important question is, what will I become after I evolve, will I be something powerful, or some kind of twisted monster? The system then displayed a chest, mission bonus, treasure chest X1. Special ability acquired, the 3rd middle school youthful vigor, calisthenics routine. Friendly reminder, while the host performs this routine, you will enter a joyful state. In this state, cultivation speed increases by 50%, vitality recovery speed increases by 300%, and all negative status effects are removed. Chao Ning slammed his hand on the floor in frustration, damn it, a powerful calisthenics routine, can't you just take it back? Does this mean I have to dance around like an idiot every time I want to cultivate? I know I'm not exactly normal, but I still have some dignity. The other two had reached their limit, what's with this kid, muttering to himself the whole time, one grumbled, beats me, you think he's been scared stupid. Just then, Shen Ninger stirred slightly, Chao Ning froze, you've got to be kidding me, she's waking up now of all times. He gritted his teeth, damn it, I'm out of options, fine, let's do some calisthenics. Tang Weiwei grabbed Chao Ning tightly, hey, what are you muttering about, you better not try to pull any funny business. Chao Ning tensed his body, getting ready. He sprang to his feet and began the routine, hup. Chao Ning swung his arms and pumped his knees, 1, 2, 3, 4, Tang Weiwei was completely dumbfounded, what is this? And 2, 2, 3, 4, Chao Ning continued counting, Tang Weiwei yelled, grab him, the knockout powder and the shock must have driven him crazy, don't let him do anything stupid. C nodded, right. System, second set, chest expansions, as Chao Ning stretched his arms out wide, his fist connected squarely with a C's face. Vitality, 50, spirit power, 21, Chao Ning's eyes widened, whoa, it's going up, this thing actually works. Tang Weiwei charged forward angrily, you useless piece of crap, you can't even handle one little nerd. System, third set, leg kicks, Chao Ning swung his leg up, kicking Tang Weiwei square in the chest, ugh. He scrambled to his feet, wiping a trickle of blood from his lip, damn it, he's a real handful now that he's lost his mind, looks like I have no choice but to get serious. With that thought, Tang Weiwei pulled out a small dagger. Just then, a knock came from outside the door. Major Shen, is everything all right in there? Everyone in the room froze. Major. The air in the room turned to ice. Shen Ninger is a major. Chao Ning screamed internally, what kind of screwed up game is this? It made me sacrifice a major, that's like earning a fortune you won't live long enough to spend. The people outside kept calling, Major Shen, what's going on in there, Major Shen? Tang Weiwei trembled from head to toe. Shen Ninger, a major in the alliance at only 18 years old, the youngest major in the entire alliance, the power she must have behind her. Just then, a rustling sound came from the side. Tang Weiwei and the other person whipped their heads around, huh? They saw Gao Ning had just finished buckling a safety harness. Tang Weiwei shrieked in alarm, Gao Ning, what the hell are you doing? Gao Ning gave him a wink and held up a capsule. Sorry, guys, this mess is a little too big for me, I'm gonna have to let you take the fall for this one. Tang Weiwei recognized it instantly, that capsule, it looked just like the one Shen Ninger had used earlier. Gao Ning tossed the capsule to the floor, shattering it. See you around, and with that, Gao Ning started to climb out the window. As soon as the capsule shattered, a bright light flared from within. And in the next instant, a ferocious dragon appeared. Crash, its body instantly grew enormous, cracking the walls of the room under the strain. Just then, the people outside kicked down the door and stormed in. Qin Tianxiong's eyes widened, a dragon. He pointed a finger at Tang Weiwei and growled, you again. His eyes then fell on Shen Ninger, who lay unconscious in the middle of a strange formation. Qin Tianxiong and his security team were completely stunned. Tang Weiwei waved his hands frantically, Lieutenant Qin, it wasn't me, I was here to save her, the real culprit is. Qin Tianxiong didn't bother listening, he just sent a punch straight into his face, bastard. Tang Weiwei slammed hard into the wall behind him. Seeing the lingering scent of the strange incense in the room, Qin Tianxiong grew even more furious, you. Tang Weiwei screamed, Lieutenant Qin, this isn't what it looks like. Qin Tianxiong raised his fist, roaring, the evidence and witness are all here, and you're still trying to argue, I'll beat you to death today. At that moment, the four posts of the bed began to glow with an eerie light. Both Qin Tianxiong and Tang Weiwei felt the sudden surge of energy. The Iron Dragon let out a roar, its presence turning violent. Shen Ninger was now on her feet, a powerful killing aura radiating from her entire body. Her eyes were wide as she muttered to herself, you can't scare me, I'm not afraid of you anymore, never again, absolutely never again. Qin Tianxiong's face went pale, Major Shen, you. He waved his arm and yelled, run, get out of here, now. The Iron Dragon roared and lunged forward to attack. A blinding light filled the entire room, roar. Shen Ninger's body erupted in light as the Iron Dragon coiled around her protectively. The ground shook violently, like an earthquake, and pieces of the ceiling rained down. Tang Weiwei scrambled backward, screaming in terror, don't kill me, wait, hold on, don't kill me, I have something really important to give you. Before he could finish his sentence, the Iron Dragon's heavy tail whipped toward him, A USB drive clattered to the floor. Foaming at the mouth, he managed to gasp, still resentful, why did I have to be the fall guy? A subordinate cried out in alarm, Captain, if this keeps up, the hotel's going to collapse. Qin Tianxiong led them straight for the exit, let's go, let the damn hotel collapse. He was sweating, his eyes filled with terror, just as I feared, Shen Ninger isn't just undergoing assimilation, she's suffering from the backlash, a power manifestation combined with a backlash, that can only mean one thing, destruction. A loud boom from the room above made Gao Ning freeze in his tracks. He glanced up, remarking to himself, "Whoa, that's intense. If I'd known that Iron Dragon was so powerful, I wouldn't have smashed the capsule. That kind of power, you could sell it on the market for at least 5,000 alliance credits." A moment later, Gao Ning's feet touched the ground. He clenched his fist and cheered, "Safe landing." Just then, a USB drive fell and bonked him right on the head. He picked it up, wondering, a metal memory drive. A metal storage device, how did this fall from up there? Whatever, I'll just grab it and figure it out later. He glanced up at the burnt-out room and gave a little wave, "So long." As he was running, something clicked in Chao Nong's mind, "Oh, right." At that moment, the receptionist was on the phone, her voice frantic, yes, it was Lieutenant Qin Tianxiong's group, the ones who rented out 2 floors, I have no idea what happened either." Chao Nong placed the key card on the counter and smiled, "Miss, I'm checking out." The receptionist nodded, "You can just leave the key card there." Chao Nong flashed a brilliant smile, "Thanks." He turned and walked out of the hotel, thinking to himself, it's in the most dangerous situations that you really see how smart a person can be. The events flashed through his mind, I wonder if those 2 scumbags ratted me out, or if Qin Tianxiong will investigate and find me, and Shen Ninger, I hope she didn't get a good look at my face. A faint smirk played on Chao Nong's lips, either way, if any of this gets discovered, I'm a dead man, might as well believe in my own damn good luck, things will work themselves out, after all, being this handsome has to count for something, right? After running for a while, Chao Nong ducked into a small alley, I've come this far, should be safe now. He looked at the chest on the screen, come to think of it, I still haven't opened my basic treasure chest. The chest sprang open, and a small pill popped out, Chao Nong's eyes widened, what is this? A system notification appeared, received, 1 marrow cleansing pill, description, the marrow cleansing pill has 2 effects, 1, if qi and blood value and spirit energy value are not full, it will temporarily raise them to their maximum limit, 2, if qi and blood value and spirit energy value are already full, it will re-evaluate and recalibrate both values. Chao Nong couldn't help but curse, holy shit, is this a miracle pill? Re-evaluate and recalibrate my qi and blood and spirit energy values. Latent talent represents the degree of control and output of one's power, in game terms, it's basically skill potency. Chao Nong smirked, all my latent talent attributes are at 100% now, but my qi and blood and spirit energy are only at half, this pill is exactly what I needed. Later, he opened the door to his home, and a warm, yellow light spilled out. Chao Nong tiptoed inside, not noticing Su Xilan slumped over the table, asleep. He took a slightly heavier step, and the old wooden floorboard beneath his foot let out a loud creak. Su Xilan woke up instantly, her voice soft, "You're home." She carried 2 plates toward the kitchen, smiling warmly, "Auntie Lu gave us 2 eggs and a piece of meat, let Mom go heat it up for you." A moment later, Su Xilan brought out a steaming bowl of rice, "Here, eat." Her voice was full of concern, "Is the cooking smoke too strong?" Chao Nong shook his head, "Not at all, the delicious smell overpowers it." He spoke between bites, "Mom, the college entrance exams are in a few days, I want to apply to Hope Capital's military academy, don't worry, I'll definitely get in. I'll figure out a way to get the 1,000 alliance credit application fee myself, so you don't have to worry about it," he said, then quickly shoveled rice into his mouth. Su Xilan smiled, "Okay." He grinned brightly, "I'm full, Mom, this meat is delicious, you have some." Su Xilan shook her head, refusing, "I've already eaten." Chao Nong picked up a piece of meat with his chopsticks and held it to her lips, "Have some more." Su Xilan laughed happily and took the chopsticks. Alright, then. Chao Nong's expression turned serious. Mom, once I get into the military academy, we'll move to Hope Capital, we'll eat meat every single day. Su Xilan nodded as she ate. Okay. Then, she stood up. I'm getting sleepy, so I'm going to bed. You should get some rest soon, too. You have school tomorrow, make sure you finish the rest of the meat. Looking at the last piece of meat in his bowl, Chao Nong let out a soft sigh. He clenched his fist, his thoughts resolute. Don't worry, Mom, I'm grown up now, I can be the pillar of this family. Just then, the system appeared again, detecting host's intense desire for money. A bright light shot out, shining directly in Chao Nong's face. He slid the button on the screen to the right, the words that appeared read, activating, a man's responsibility. Immediately, another screen materialized before his eyes. It read, as a man, you must be able to shoulder any burden. You can be without power, but you cannot be without money. A man's youth must burn with passion. A mere 1,000 credits for an application fee is not enough to prove a man's strength. A true man must constantly push forward, bravely taking on a challenge 100 times greater. Activating, a man's responsibility. Mission requirement, earn 100,000 alliance credits within 3 days. Chao Nong froze. 3 days. 100,000, for a moment, it felt like he was staring up at a mountain made of money. Gao Nong gritted his teeth. 3 days to make 100,000 alliance coins, that's basically robbery, so, my next mission is to rob a bank, right? The system immediately displayed a notification, normal difficulty. The system will provide the host with 2 clues to aid in mission completion. Upon completion, the host will receive a reward of 10% of the 100,000, plus a guaranteed beginner treasure chest. Elite difficulty. The system will provide the host with 2 clues to aid in mission completion. Upon completion, the host will receive a reward of 50% of the 100,000, plus a guaranteed beginner treasure chest and a 10% chance of receiving an intermediate treasure chest. Nightmare difficulty. I was born a prodigy, the chosen one of this new world. No need to hold back, just go all out from the start. Upon completion, the host will receive a reward of 100% of the 100,000, plus a guaranteed intermediate treasure chest and a 10% chance at a lucky draw. Time is money. Please select your difficulty. A careful choice will help the host grow. You can turn a bike into a motorcycle, but first, you better look up and see if Lady Luck is smiling on you. After reading, he flipped a mental middle finger at the screen. So this stupid system even takes a cut. How modern, but now's not the time for that. After thinking it over, Gao Nong made his decision. Fine, it's a challenge, right? A real man has to face challenges head-on. A 50% debuff to my latent talent is one thing, but making 100,000 alliance coins in 3 days, what's there to be afraid of? Without a moment's hesitation, he pointed decisively at the screen and declared, I choose normal difficulty. The information immediately appeared again. The system will provide the host with 2 clues to aid in mission completion. Upon completion, the host will receive a reward of 10% of the 100,000, plus a guaranteed beginner treasure chest. Gao Nong thought for a moment, then smirked. These conditions, they're practically begging someone to become a criminal. He was still holed up in a secure room. Defense was everything. Suddenly, the system offered a helpful hint. Hint 1, the metal storage device the host picked up may hold the answer. Gao Nong picked it up, a mix of bewilderment and anger on his face. This counts as a hint. The fact that I already found a storage device is your hint. Are you an idiot? The system continued, unfazed. Hint 2:02 a.m., defenses are at their weakest. This is your only chance. The host is advised to prepare a hammer, a wrench, and a shovel, or the mission will fail. Hearing this, he clutched his head in a panic. Am I really supposed to rob a bank? The room flashed with a blue light. Gao Nong's expression turned serious as he considered his options. This second hint is clearly the key. If I'd been baited into picking elite difficulty, I would have definitely failed. From this, he realized a fundamental truth. Just as I thought, when you need to be cautious, you have to be cautious all the way. In the empty room, Gao Nong was fired up, planning his strategy. A moment later, he decisively inserted the card into a reader. He frowned as he investigated its contents. There's one folder, and it's double encrypted. TCH, this damn system, if I wasn't an academic ace, this hint would have been completely useless. Before long, Gao Nong had smoothly bypassed the security. Done. The system's loading bar was at 65%. Staring at the screen, he began to analyze the file. This looks like a structural cross-section of some place. Is it a bank vault? But as he looked closer, he changed his mind. No, that's not right. This looks more like a factory, and it's stocked with all sorts of dangerous weapons. Wait, there's a label at the top. What caught his eye were two distinct characters. These two words are. Gao Nong's eyes widened in shock. The twin glyphs. The twin glyphs, source of the great cataclysm. They were a supernatural phenomenon that had plunged the world into a century of turmoil from the moment the first one appeared. But now, the twin glyphs had also brought humanity a new civilization. The invention of incubation pods, the rise of energy warriors. It was all deeply connected to them. Gao Nong rested his chin on his hand, lost in thought. But that's all I know about them. Here in the land of the Forsaken, we don't have access to intel on the twin glyphs. He still couldn't figure it out. Why is the twin glyphs label on this map? Could this factory be a twin glyph? But, no, that's impossible. How could a twin glyph be a factory? Gao Nong desperately searched for an answer. Dream toy factory. What does a toy factory have to do with the twin glyphs? A second later, he found something strange online. The location's a bit remote. It closed down 4 months ago. As soon as he clicked on a gaming site, Gao Nong was even more surprised. What the hell is this? No way, people still believe in this stuff. Ghost stories about vengeful spirits, a dancing girl in a red dress, a boy in a mask. As the tension mounted, he took a sip of water to calm himself and shook his head. This is obviously just a bunch of nonsense. The first hint gave me the location, the second gave me the time and tools, but robbing an abandoned factory, that sounds even harder than robbing a bank. Unless there really is a twin glyph in that factory, or at least something related to it. He started to imagine the scenario. The hint told me to bring a hammer. What's that for, other than bashing someone's head in? He nonchalantly took another sip of water and chuckled at the thought. Let's do this, I guess that's what it's for. Moving on to the next item, he continued his morbid deductions, and the shovel must be for burying the body. Finally, Gao Nong leaned back in his chair. Doesn't matter if I'm robbing people or ghosts, it's still robbery, but there's no way I can break in with my current strength. With that, he took out a pill and popped it into his mouth without hesitation. Looks like I'll have to wait for nightfall. As the pill dissolved, a refreshing sensation spread through him, minty, cool and soothing. But a second later, his entire body went numb. Wait, no, this cold is, my bones are freezing solid. The next second, Gao Nong's body slammed onto the floor. His body was a paradox of burning heat and icy cold, an agony that tore him apart. His bones felt like they were made of ice, but his blood was boiling. He clutched his throat, the horrifying realization dawning on him. This pill is poisoned. All that could be heard in the room were blood-curdling screams. Aya. Gao Ning clutched his neck, cursing, damn it, are you trying to kill me? He was drenched in sweat, forcing his head up to read the new information. Blood chi value, 64/140, spirit energy value, 28/63. And just like that, Gao Ning understood what was happening. So this is what leveling up feels like. However, his eyelids grew heavy, as if his life force was draining away, but at the same time, Gao Ning could clearly see the danger. I think, my health is dropping. If this keeps up, am I going to? He quickly shouted a request. Pause for a second. The system immediately appeared with a notification. Host's blood chi value has reached the maximum of 200. begin breaking the body's limit now. Gao Ning snapped back, break my ass, just let me rest for a second, breaking what? But the system didn't seem to care, it made the decision on its own, confirmed, beginning breakthrough, he curled up in agony, furious, this damn system, is this a fucking mugging? Gao Ning's face twisted in agony as waves of pain crashed over him, no good, I can't take any more of this, I'm gonna die, I have to endure it, just do one exercise first. And so, he began to tremble through the movements, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. And somehow, the quality of his blood actually started to improve. Gao Ning paused, observing for a moment. Just as he closed his eyes to rest, host has successfully broken the body's limit for the first time. The system instantly transported Gao Ning to a new space, where is this? But this place made him feel surprisingly good, this feels amazing, so comfortable. It felt as if a surge of ultimate power had been granted to his entire body. His gaze was serious as he felt every new current of energy. But just as quickly, Gao Ning was back in reality, he let out a sigh of relief, I'm still alive. Suddenly, he noticed something strange and exclaimed, huh. Gao Ning's arms and legs were covered in a foul-smelling sludge. He scrambled away in disgust, it stinks, what is this stuff? Gao Ning ran straight into the bathroom and immediately turned on the shower. He stood under the stream of water, savoring the feeling. Even then, Gao Ning stroked his chin, still in disbelief, I feel like I've actually gotten stronger. And then, the system displayed his complete information, name, Gao Ning, blood chi value, 15 out of 201, successfully broke the body's limit once, aptitude ranking, excellent, blood chi cultivation speed increased by 20%, spirit energy value, August 96, successfully broke the body's limit once, aptitude ranking, excellent. Spirit energy cultivation speed increased by 17%. After reading it, Gao Ning's face lit up with excitement, my blood chi and spirit energy limits have nearly doubled, this means I have the foundation to become an energy warrior. Legend says that breaking the body's limit once is the foundation for becoming an energy warrior, allowing one to grasp basic energy combat methods, such as the energy extraction art. If one can break the body's limit twice before becoming an energy warrior, they can possess many more energy combat methods, such as the energy synthesis art, the energy refinement art, and so on. Gao Ning thought with a serious expression, and if I could manage to break the limit 3 times. His excitement was palpable, in other words, if I can just get my hands on a few more of those bone marrow advancement pills, I could become a once-in-a-millennium martial arts prodigy. His momentary joy made him forget he was in the middle of a shower. The scene shifts to a different room. Tang De, vice principal of the 3rd senior high school, was engrossed in carving something onto a woman's back. He stood back, gazing at the image with a pensive, appreciative look. He didn't stop there, Tang De poured wine directly onto it, art, this is true art. Droplets of wine clung to the smooth expanse of her back. Suddenly, a call came in from Qin Tianxiong. He answered, annoyed, Lieutenant Qin, what's so important that you have to call old man Tang in the middle of the night? The voice on the other end was frantic, we have a huge problem. Upon hearing the news, Tang De's face turned livid, what did you say? Wei Er attacked a major. The situation was urgent, yet the girl was still lying there, posing seductively. But his mood was utterly foul, which major, Shen Ninger, isn't she one of your soldiers, Qin Tianxiong, are you trying to screw with me? With that, Tang De hung up. He kicked a table and chair over to vent his fury. The kick was so powerful it splintered the chair. Tang De clenched his fists, grinding his teeth in rage, well played, Qin Tianxiong, you dare to play me. A lighter flicks on, igniting a cigarette. Taking a drag, the beautiful woman calmly asks, "So, what kind of trouble did your precious son get into this time?" Tangda snaps back, seething, "That damn fox Qin Tianxiong, he hid Shen Ninger's identity, now he's telling me she's some major and that my son assaulted her, damn it, does he take me for a fool?" Hearing this, the woman asks suspiciously, "A major, it seems your human alliance's purpose in the Forsaken Land isn't so simple after all, don't tell me you let it slip," Tangda immediately retorts, "Impossible." His expression turns serious, "I barely have any intel on it myself, if there was a leak, the problem must be on Wang Ju's side, the human alliance's intelligence network is no simple thing, are you sure there's nothing wrong on his end?" The woman taps the ash from her cigarette and replies with a smirk, "Besides being impotent, what other problems could that old goat possibly have?" She presses herself against Tangda, whispering seductively, "I still like you, come on, let's get back to making our art." Still fuming, Tangda pushes back, "Art requires inspiration, and right now, I've got none, what damn art am I supposed to make? Just go back to Wang Ju's workshop, I need to head to the Golden Hotel." As she leaves, the woman remarks with a sigh, "This is why I love artistic men like you, so much style, even in your rejections." She slowly opens the door. Then, she adds a final goodbye, "I'll head out first, then, but don't you dare turn me down next time." The curtains flutter in the wind. Tangda stares intently at the curtained doorway. His eyes darken. A moment later, he makes a call, the voice on the other end asks, "What now?" Tangda replies coldly, "Qin Tianxiong, I know where the thing you're looking for is, but first, you need to find a scapegoat to take the fall for my son, no matter what, you must guarantee his safety." With a grim look, Tangda adds firmly, "If you can't do that, the deal is off." Elsewhere, a meeting is underway in a conference room, its members seated around a large table. Qin Tianxiong stares intently at the paper in front of him. He stares without blinking, not saying a word. The paper displays the following information: hourly room rental, room 707, check-in time, 8:59 p.m., guest name, Gao Neng. A moment later, Qin Tianxiong asks, "Who handled the check-in for room 707? A female employee answers, trembling in fear, I did." Qin Tianxiong presses, "This Gao Nenghuo is he, how old?" The employee replies, "He's about 17 or 18, I think he's a student from 3rd Senior High, he said he was here to see you, don't you know him, sir?" This struck Qin Tianxiong as odd, here to see me, a student from 3rd Senior High. The next moment, he barked an order, contact Li Qingping, "I want a background check on a kid named Gao Neng, get his address and send some men to bring him to me." A subordinate snapped to attention, "Yes, sir." Staring down at the paper, Qin Tianxiong considered the name, Gao Neng, not a bad scapegoat at all. In a dilapidated, deserted part of town, Qin Tianxiong's men arrive as ordered. Looking around the rundown area, one of them asks dubiously, "This is Gao Neng's address?" "Yeah," another confirms, "This is the place." A small note is visible on a desk, "Going to a friend's house to study tonight." Gao Neng grabbed a large bag, ready to head out. Mom has to work 5 part-time jobs at once, she only comes home late at night. A system notification pops up, a man's responsibility. Seeing it, Gao Neng knew he had to finish this mission, and fast. The next moment, he swings the door open and says with a grin, "All right, all set, time to go." As he opens the door, he's met with a figure standing right outside, huh? Seeing Teacher Zhang suddenly standing in his doorway, Gao Neng calls out in surprise, "Teacher Zhang." Teacher Zhang's gaze falls on the tools in Gao Neng's hands. At a loss for words, Gao Neng can only manage a sheepish, awkward smile. Teacher Zhang asks skeptically, "Gao Neng, what are you up to?" Gao Neng flashes a bright smile, "Morning, Teacher Zhang, just getting ready for school." Teacher Zhang, clearly not buying it, wiped some sweat from his brow, with a hammer. Gao Ning quickly explains, "Yep, I saw a big, dangerous-looking rock on the way to school the other day, so I was going to go smash it. Teacher Zhang, you're always telling us, to achieve success, one must first pave the road, right?" He adds nonchalantly, "As for the wrench, you know I'm our school's amateur handyman, it's totally normal for me to carry one around." Teacher Zhang presses on, unconvinced, "Right, and the shovel, are you planning to dig up dirt to fill the road?" Gao Ning grins, "Exactly, you're incredible, Teacher Zhang, you figured out my whole plan with just one look, this shovel is for patching up the road." After hearing Gao Ning's explanation, Teacher Zhang glances at the figures behind him, his expression darkening as he says nothing. Then, with a heavy sigh, Teacher Zhang says, "Gao Ning, there's no need to fix the road ahead, you need to come with me." Immediately, the sound of several footsteps rings out. A group of men steps out from behind Teacher Zhang. Teacher Zhang's face is dark, his expression chillingly cold. Looking at the men before him, Gao Ning remains surprisingly calm, "So they came for me this early, faster than I anticipated." Teacher Zhang spoke up, "Gao Ning, you're my student, I've been your homeroom teacher since 10th grade, I know what kind of person you are, and I know you wouldn't do anything wrong, it's just." Before Teacher Zhang could finish, Gao Ning cut in with a smile, "It's okay, sir, let's just go." Teacher Zhang placed a hand on his shoulder and said seriously, "Don't worry, I'll go with you and explain everything, it'll be fine." The next moment, Qin Tianxiong's men were driving Teacher Zhang and Gao Ning away. As they drove, Gao Ning worried to himself, "How am I going to handle this?" They arrived at a towering skyscraper. Gao Ning was ushered inside. The moment he stepped in, he saw a room full of people waiting. 9. Seeing Gao Ning, Qin Tianxiong immediately spoke up, "Is that him?" 10. A female staff member quickly replied, yes, that's him," but Qin Tianxiong didn't want to hear any more, cutting her off, "That's all I need to know." 11. Qin Tianxiong's expression suddenly changed, his eyes turning ice cold. 12. With a terrifyingly grim face, Qin Tianxiong asked, "You're Gao Ning, right? Do you have any idea why we brought you here?" 13. Gao Ning couldn't help but glance around the room. 14. It's obvious this was all planned out beforehand. 15. In this situation, a normal person would immediately start thinking of an alibi, or they'd try to stay calm and play dumb to avoid suspicion. 16. But, am I a normal person? At that thought, a glint appeared in Gao Ning's eyes. 17. The next second, he threw his backpack forward. 18. This completely baffled Qin Tianxiong. 19. In an instant, Gao Ning was clinging to Qin Tianxiong's leg, wailing loudly, "Lieutenant Qin, please don't kill me, I was wrong, I did it, principal, please don't expel me, I know what I did was wrong, please don't expel me, I'll never do it again." Seeing this display, Qin Tianxiong was utterly stunned. Is he confessing? 20. Qin Tianxiong's face darkened, completely bewildered. "What the hell, can't you show a little backbone? I'm not saying you should fight back, but at least try to argue your case a little." 21. The others were just as flabbergasted, thinking to themselves, "This is the top student, I heard he was some kind of genius, but look at him, the quality of students these days is really getting worse and worse." 22. Principal Li shot to his feet, frowning, "Gao Ning, as a man, the most important thing is to take responsibility for your actions, show some guts, now, tell us everything you did, if you feel any part of this is wrong, you can explain yourself." 23. The man in the blue suit chimed in with a smirk, "That's right, Gao Ning, hurry up and confess your mistakes, acknowledging your faults and correcting them is the mark of a good student." 24. As he spoke, the man moved closer to Gao Ning, "Why don't you start by telling us what you did?" 25. Hearing this, Gao Ning was taken aback, tell them what I did, don't tell me they aren't working with Tang Weiwei, or, did something happen to him, did Shen Ninger take care of him? 26. While he was lost in thought, the man in the blue suit broke into a sinister smile, his eyes burning with a terrifying intensity. 27. Gao Ning remained deep in thought. No, Tang De's purpose was probably to find a scapegoat. If Tang Weiwei is dead, there's no point in Tang De finding a replacement. 28. The moment the thought crossed his mind, he buried his face in his hands and started sobbing again. Boo-hoo. This left the man in the blue suit utterly confused. 29. Before the man could react, Gao Ning latched onto his leg, crying hysterically, it's true, I've failed the expectations of the principal, the vice principal, and even teacher Zhang. I shouldn't have been so opportunistic, I shouldn't have gone to that hotel to find Lieutenant Qin, I shouldn't have tried to pull strings like that. 30. Seeing this, the man in the blue suit went pale, breaking into a cold sweat. Wait, student Gao Ning, just calm down and speak slowly. You said you wanted to pull strings with Lieutenant Qin. 31. Gao Ning calmly pointed at Qin Tianxiong and replied, I'm saying that Lieutenant Qin wouldn't let me pull any strings. No, that's not right, I haven't pulled any strings with Lieutenant Qin yet. In short, I've failed the expectations of the principal and all my teachers. Hearing this, Qin Tianxiong couldn't help but snap. Are you messing with me, you little brat? Am I asking you about pulling strings right now? 32. What I want to know is why you went to the Golden Hotel to rent a room by the hour, Qin Tianxiong demanded, grabbing Gao Ning by the collar. With tears and snot streaming down his face, Gao Ning replied, I rented the room, to pull some strings. 33. Qin Tianxiong's face was dark with rage. He shoved his face right in front of Gao Ning's and snarled, lies, who the hell were you planning to pull your damn strings with? Gao Ning answered calmly, with the lieutenant. 34. He declared loudly, I wanted to build a good relationship with Lieutenant Qin before college, that way, I might have a better chance of getting into the military academy. After I rented the room at the hotel, I still hadn't met with the lieutenant, so I. 35. Seeing Gao Ning trail off, Qin Tianxiong whipped his head back around, grinding his teeth. So you did what? 36. Gao Ning answered immediately, so I left. It was time to check out, and I didn't have any more money to extend the room. Besides, my mom was waiting for me to come home for dinner. I had no idea you'd investigate something like this. 37. I promise, I'll never try to pull strings again. Please, don't revoke my eligibility for the college entrance exams, Gao Ning cried, looking absolutely miserable. 38. Seeing this, the man in the blue suit tried to placate him, sounding helpless. Gao Ning, please stop crying. You went to the Golden Hotel at night and spent 40 Federation credits. It can't have been just to pull, to build a good relationship with Lieutenant Qin, right? Also, can you please let go of my leg? 39. The others stared at Gao Ning, whispering in disbelief. He wants to apply to the military academy looking that pathetic. In his dreams, it's a place for people with iron wills and bodies of steel. How could they ever accept a coward like him? 40. Principal Li let out a long sigh. 41. Even as tears and snot streamed down his face, Gao Ning was perfectly calm inside. Despise me, good, that's exactly what I want. Not only do I want you all to look down on me, more importantly. 42. I want Shen Ninger, who's watching from another room, to despise me. He seemed to sense it, and he was right. Shen Ninger was indeed watching him on a small screen. 43. Gao Ning calculated in his mind, as a major in the Sky Federation, an outstanding genius, a pinnacle of existence, how could someone like Shen Ninger ever let the world know she was knocked unconscious by someone else? How could she let a stain like that tarnish her life? 44. Especially not by a spineless coward like me. Just as he predicted, Shen Ninger scoffed from her room. Is this the assassin you brought in? You're telling me my dignity as a major is worthless, is that it? Principal Li looked at Gao Ning and gently coaxed him. All right, Gao Ning, get up. We all know you want to get into the military academy, but you can't be pulling strings like this anymore. Understand? Gao Ning's face lit up as he replied, I understand, Principal, thank you. Principal Li turned to Qin Tianxiong. Lieutenant Qin, the situation is quite clear. To be honest, this kid, Gao Neng, has been an excellent student for years. I believe this is all just a misunderstanding. The man in the blue vest suddenly spun around, startling Gao Neng, who was still clinging to his leg. The man then took a seat and smiled at Principal Li. Old Li, I'm actually with you on this. I also feel that this Gao Neng couldn't have committed any crime. However, since the military is already here, we should let Lieutenant Qin conduct a brief interrogation, don't you think? Principal Li hesitated, stammering, but... Seeing his hesitation, Qin Tianxiong's face hardened. Principal Li, you're a teacher, so of course you'd hold out hope for your students. I can understand that, but trying to pull a fast one and avoid an interrogation in front of me, Qin Tianxiong, it's not that easy. In an instant, Qin Tianxiong's face darkened with rage. He grabbed Gao Neng by the collar. Kid, have you ever heard of a military interrogation? Gao Neng immediately pulled a dirty trick, collapsing to the floor and crying out, "Arg!" He used the leftover rat blood to fake a bloody mouth, leaving Qin Tianxiong utterly stunned and helpless. Qin Tianxiong's brow furrowed. Brat, are you playing dead in front of me? I barely even touched you. The moment Principal Li saw this, he grew indignant. He strode forward. How dare you physically assault my student right in front of me? Qin Tianxiong immediately tried to explain, This brat is faking it. Principal Li didn't buy it for a second. He stood protectively in front of Gao Neng and faced Qin Tianxiong. Are you going to stop? Are you really going to use violence on an innocent student? You're a military man, you need evidence to do anything. Teacher Zhang, at his side, chimed in, exactly, without evidence, we won't accept this. Furious, Qin Tianxiong shot back, I. This brat went to the Golden Hotel in the middle of the night to rent a room, his intentions are clearly suspicious. Principal Li immediately countered, renting a room is evidence, isn't that completely absurd? Besides, how would Gao Neng know who was in the room next door? Just then, the female employee timidly interjected, Gao Neng didn't know, I was the one who told him Lieutenant Qin was in the next room. Qin Tianxiong shot the employee a look that could kill. The employee was terrified, her face ashen, ah. But a moment later, she mustered her courage and yelled, the truth is the truth, I can vouch for Gao Neng. Principal Li seized the opportunity, Lieutenant Qin, did you hear that? Do you have any other evidence? If not, then on behalf of the entire leadership of the 3rd Senior High School, I demand that you release him immediately. Qin Tianxiong was speechless. I'm sorry, Lieutenant Qin, with your methods, you'd probably figure out I used a marrow cleansing pill to break through my body's limits, playing the victim was the only way I could get out of this. Just then, the door swung open and someone from outside called out, Sir. He reported, Tang Weiwei and that guy ACI are awake. Hearing this, both Principal Li and Qin Tianxiong were taken aback, huh? The subordinate continued, and, sir, they both claimed that before they entered the room, Gao Neng was already inside. Qin Tianxiong shot Gao Neng a cold smirk, humph. A moment later, he gave an order, Tang Weiwei and ACI are awake, I'm going to have to ask Principal Tang, Principal Li, and Teacher Zhang to step outside for a moment. The man in the blue vest smiled, of course, for something like this to happen in my Tang family, I'm deeply embarrassed, old Li, old Zhang, let's go, we have to trust the military and Lieutenant Qin, right? Principal Li said, all right, Lieutenant Qin is a soldier, and I trust the military, but until this matter is cleared up, I absolutely will not permit you to lay a hand on my student. Qin Tianxiong quickly assured him, understood, I won't touch Gao Neng again. Then he turned to his subordinates, you're all dismissed as well, leave a few men to guard the door, and bring Tang Weiwei and ACI in here. The subordinates left immediately. Now, only Gao Neng and Qin Tianxiong were left in the room. Qin Tianxiong sat down confidently, a smirk playing on his lips as he looked at Gao Neng, student Gao Neng, let's just wait a moment, shall we? I've already played the victim, I've already coughed up blood, I was so close to getting off the hook, and now Tang Weiwei wakes up, this can't be happening. What do I do, is this it for me? Just then, the door slowly opened. Gao Ning sighed in frustration, Tang Weiwei and AC entered, almost completely covered in bandages. ACI looked like a mummy. The moment she saw Gao Ning, Tang Weiwei pointed a finger at him. Lieutenant Qin, it was him, it was Gao Ning. When we went in, he had already knocked Major Shen unconscious. We were just trying to save Major Shen. ACI, standing beside her, grunted in agreement. MMPH. After hearing their testimony, Qin Tianxiong's face turned cold. Student Gao Ning, do you have an explanation for this? Gao Ning gave a strained laugh. Who's Major Shen? I never even went into Shen Ninger's room, so how would I know some Major Shen? Oh, it seems Gao Ning really doesn't know. Tang Weiwei jumped in. He was definitely in Major Shen's room last night, he was on her bed, we even fought, he kicked the crap out of me, right? ACI, unable to speak, ACI just grunted in agreement. MMPH. Qin Tianxiong quickly caught on and asked, so what you're saying is, you two are framing him. He then slammed his hand on the table and roared, nonsense. Qin Tianxiong grabbed Tang Weiwei by the collar, you're the ones who drugged Major Shen's room, if Gao Ning had been inside, he would have been knocked out too, so tell me, how could an unconscious Gao Ning possibly fight the two of you? He finished, then whipped his head toward Gao Ning. Gao Ning, am I right? Gao Ning just smiled and waved his hands dismissively. I don't understand, what's all this about drugs? Seeing Gao Ning's act, Qin Tianxiong just let out a cold laugh. Ha ha ha, so you really don't know. Then his voice boomed with certainty, but you were in the room right next to Major Shen's, you're telling me you didn't hear that huge commotion. Gao Ning, you're lying. Qin Tianxiong stared Gao Ning down, his voice a low challenge. Gao Ning, you think you're smart enough to deny everything, you're wrong, your story is full of holes. Just then, a system notification sent a jolt of panic through Gao Ning. Host's heart rate detected at 139 BPM, unlocking a suppressive mission to calm the host. In life, nothing is impossible, only things left undone. You're young, you can't keep acting recklessly, facing challenges head-on is what you must do. Mission requirement. Within 1 minute, you must shout, I'm the one who did it with Shen Ninger. To complete the mission, penalty for failure, demotion by 1 rank, 059. The timer ticked down, 058. Gao Ning felt a surge of helpless fury. Shout my ass. 1. Qin Tianxiong scowled, his brow furrowed and teeth clenched as he stared ahead. 2. Backed into a corner, Gao Ning's expression was grim. 3. Watching the countdown timer, Gao Ning could only sigh in helpless frustration. 4. Then he spoke up, that's right, I lied, but, aren't you lying too, Lieutenant Qin? 5. Pointing at the group of people behind him, Gao Ning declared confidently, you're trying to help them get off scot-free, aren't you? This infuriated Qin Tianxiong, who shot back, you. 6. Meanwhile, someone else was approaching from a distance. 7. Gao Ning pressed on, if that's not it, then why are you so fixated on me, just because I rented a hotel room? 8. It was as if Gao Ning had figured it all out, he stated firmly, you already conspired with Principal Tang to use me as a scapegoat, didn't you, all over a hotel room? 9. Elsewhere, Shen Ninger watched the scene on a monitor, her expression darkening as she listened. 10. Unafraid, Gao Ning pointed directly at Qin Tianxiong, the truth is, you colluded with Principal Tang to make me the fall guy for them. Qin Tianxiong, of course, denied it, shouting, you little brat, how dare you spout such nonsense. 11. Seeing Qin Tianxiong's towering rage, Gao Ning flinched in fear and cried out, stay back, are you trying to silence me by killing me? Qin Tianxiong's face hardened, silence you, I am a respected. 12. Gao Ning paid him no mind, continuing to scream at the top of his lungs, he's going to kill me, he's trying to silence me, somebody, help. 13. Seeing Gao Ning act this way, Qin Tianxiong broke out in a cold sweat, completely at a loss. 14. He lunged forward, grabbing Gao Ning by the collar and threatening, "If you don't shut your mouth, I'll." 15. Just then, Principal Li and the others burst in from outside. Gao Ning, are you all right?" 16. Principal Li was stunned by the sight before him. 17. Qin Tianxiong, his face a terrifying mask of fury, had Gao Ning by the collar. 18. A second later, Principal Li yelled, "Qin Tianxiong, you're a lieutenant, for God's sake, how could you go back on your word and lay a hand on a student?" 19. Teacher Zhang asked worriedly, "Gao Ning, are you okay, are you hurt?" 20. But before Teacher Zhang could touch him, Gao Ning flinched away, startling the teacher. "Gao Ning, you." 21. Gao Ning was panicking, breathing in ragged gasps. 22. Seeing this, Principal Li immediately stepped forward to reassure him. "Gao Ning, there's no need to be afraid, your principal and Teacher Zhang are here, we won't let anyone hurt you." 23. Seeing only 5 seconds left on the clock, Gao Ning thought to himself, "In for a penny, in for a pound, if I'm going to do this, I have to go all out, but time is running out, I have no other choice." 24. He gritted his teeth in frustration. 25. The next second, he shot to his feet, putting on a show as he yelled, "You all want to frame me, right? Fine, my life is already screwed up enough as it is, you want me to confess, alright, I'll confess." 26. He twisted his body theatrically, adding, I'm the culprit who did that thing to Shenninger, what are you gonna do about it, huh, what can you possibly do to me?" Seeing his bizarre display, everyone stared, completely baffled. 27. Qin Tianxiong asked coldly, "So, that's a confession?" 28. Gao Ning replied with a wild grin, "That's right, I did it." 29. Suddenly, a hand shot out from nowhere. 30. It was Teacher Zhang, who clamped a hand over Gao Ning's mouth and shouted, "He's lost it, he's lost his mind, Gao Ning has gone completely crazy." 31. Teacher Zhang was so furious his face darkened, he demanded, "Is this how you military folk do things, drive a kid to insanity?" 32. Meanwhile, Tang Weiwei, still not grasping the situation, quickly ordered, "Hurry, he confessed, arrest him and let the two of us go." 33. Congratulations, host, mission complete. 34. The system cheerfully announced, commencing prize lottery. 35. In an instant, the reward appeared, the Eye of Plunder. 36. Gao Ning was stunned by this prize. 37. Congratulations, host, you have received the Eye of Plunder, trial version, duration, 5 days. 38. The system cheerfully explained, the Eye of Plunder can seize one of the 4 great ancient demonic arts, the art of disguise. Once deployed, it can see through all illusions and disguises, allowing you to perceive the true nature of all powers. Gao Ning's heart sank as he read the description, a trial version. I risked my damn neck for a 5-day trial, how the hell do I make this trial version permanent? 39. The system immediately replied, pay up, use your brain, how could you possibly get the full version without spending money? 40. Gao Ning was utterly defeated, ugh, this damn system. Meanwhile, Teacher Zhang was still trying to restrain him, filled with remorse, he pleaded, Gao Ning, don't say another word, please, just stop talking, this is all my fault. 41. Elsewhere, Shenninger watched Gao Ning's antics with a mix of suspicion and curiosity, has he really gone mad? 42. A moment later, she called out, Second Lieutenant Chen. The young officer quickly responded, yes, ma'am. 43. Shenninger smiled, inform Dr. Wang, tell him to come make a house call. 44. Conference room. 45. Gao Ning was slumped lifelessly in his chair, sulking after being thoroughly ticked off by the system. 46. Meanwhile, Principal Li and Qin Tianxiong were still facing off. Lieutenant Qin, as the principal, I am responsible for my students' safety. I'm taking Gao Ning to the hospital now, Qin Tianxiong retorted. Principal Li, you are obstructing a military investigation. I never laid a hand on Gao Ning. You can check the security cameras. Principal Li shot back, not believing a word. Oh, really? So if I had left and come back, I might have never seen my student again, is that it? 47, Qin Tianxiong stated firmly. Principal Li, you must have faith in the military. Principal Li scoffed. It's because I had too much faith in the military that I let you drive my student insane. This left Qin Tianxiong speechless. You. 48, just then, Second Lieutenant Chen appeared. Captain. 49, Qin Tianxiong looked over in confusion. Second Lieutenant Chen, and Dr. Wang, too. What are you two doing? Second Lieutenant Chen replied swiftly. These are Major Shen's orders. 50, he then commanded, Dr. Wang, please examine Gao Ning's current condition. 51, Dr. Wang approached Gao Ning with a cheerful smile. All right then, let's just run a little checkup, shall we? This sent a jolt of panic through Gao Ning, who was only pretending. He broke out in a cold sweat, his face paling instantly. Dr. Wang pointed at Tang Weiwei and "See, you two as well, let's get you checked out." Hearing this, they were both stunned and asked in unison, "Us, why do we need to be checked?" Second Lieutenant Chen quickly explained, "Ahem, it's like this, you both sustained head injuries, which can cause hallucinations, therefore, we need to verify the truth of your statements. We'll need your cooperation for a brief neurological exam." Tang Weiwei immediately shot back, "We're not doing any test, there's nothing wrong with our heads." Gao Ning did this, and he already confessed. "See," standing beside him, grunted in agreement. Seeing their resistance, Second Lieutenant Chen's expression darkened. He asked coldly, "This is a direct order from Major Shen, are you trying to defy the military?" The man in the green suit interjected with a smile, "If it's a military decision, then of course we must cooperate. Doctor, please proceed." Dr. Wang pushed up his glasses and declared confidently, "Everyone, rest assured, I, Wang Zotza, am trained in neuroscience and have seen countless psychiatric patients. My diagnoses have never once been wrong." Principal Li looked worriedly at Gao Ning and then asked, what does this test involve?" Dr. Wang replied calmly, "It's very simple, I'll ask one question, if they can answer it, it proves their minds are sound, if they can't, then they definitely have a problem." Hearing this, Principal Li was filled with disbelief. "It's that simple." Dr. Wang shot back, Principal Li, are you questioning my professional ability?" Principal Li quickly tried to clarify, "Dr. Wang, you've misunderstood, that's not what I meant," but Dr. Wang wouldn't hear it, declaring loudly, "There is no misunderstanding, this is my expertise. Although I, Wang Zotza, primarily perform surgery, I have a senior colleague with over 40 years of experience at a psychiatric hospital." Just then, a loud clatter echoed through the room. A few sharp instruments fell from Dr. Wang's coat. Dr. Wang quickly scooped them up and explained, "As I was saying, I'm usually in surgery at the military hospital, so I always carry my surgical tools with me, it's a sign of professionalism." Everyone stared, speechless. Dr. Wang suddenly yelled, "Enough talk, get in a line for me, now, let's begin the test." Gao Ning's mind raced with anxiety. "If they actually diagnose me as insane, I'll probably be locked up in a mental hospital. My mission is urgent, I don't have time for this, but if I pass the test, my earlier confession will be taken as the truth." A cold sweat broke out on his brow as he thought, "I wonder if I can trick them by faking amnesia." Dr. Wang smiled, brandishing his instruments, "I'm going to ask you all one question, the three of you can answer together, understood?" He then laid out the scenario. "I want you to imagine something, you're being chased by a killer, the three of you run into a bathroom, inside, there's a bathtub full of water, and at the bottom is a secret door. Opening that door is your only way to survive, but you can only go through it once all the water is out of the tub. Next to the tub are a basin and a spoon, you must make the correct choice. Now, give me your answer." Tang Weiwei quickly jumped in to answer first, "Me first, I choose the basin." As soon as he heard the answer, Dr. Wang declared with certainty, "Ha, you're the one with the mental problem." Terrified, Tang Weiwei started crying and tried to run. "No, I'm not crazy, you're a quack. Who sent you, Dad? Help me, tell them I'm not crazy." Dr. Wang just smiled. The mentally ill never admit they're ill. Spilling the beans already, are we? Seeing this, A quickly changed his answer. Then I choose the spoon." But the moment he finished speaking, Dr. Wang swung one of his tools at A, leaving him completely bewildered. "Huh." Dr. Wang smiled and added, "You're crazy, too." At this point, everyone in the room was thoroughly confused. What's happening? Dr. Wang turned to Gao Neng. "That just leaves you, student Gao Neng, do you choose the basin or the spoon?" Gao Neng answered seriously, "I choose neither." Dr. Wang seemed taken aback. "Oh, then what do you plan to do? Smashing the tub is impossible, and you can't move it either." Principal Li suddenly cut in. "That's enough, Dr. Wang, your question has no right answer." Gao Ning frowned slightly. "I'd pull the drain plug out of the bathtub." Dr. Wang pressed, "Pull the drain plug, are you sure?" Gao Ning replied firmly, "I'm sure." As Dr. Wang and Gao Ning stared each other down, Tang Weiwei and A watched from behind, breaking out in a cold sweat. Dr. Wang placed a hand on Gao Ning's shoulder. Then he announced loudly, "All right, your mind is perfectly normal. In such a high-pressure situation, a mentally ill person would try to scoop the water out, only a sane person would think to pull the plug. You have no mental issues." The moment he finished, Dr. Wang turned to the others. "Does anyone have any objections?" Second Lieutenant Chen and Principal Li quickly answered, "None at all. Dr. Wang is as professional as they say. Yes, truly a professional." Tang Weiwei, however, refused to accept this, screaming, "No, that's not fair, you're a quack, you never said we could pull the plug. I'm not crazy, you're the crazy one." Dr. Wang pinned Tang Weiwei down. "A patient with mental problems not only denies their own illness but also accuses others of being ill. Your condition is quite worrisome. Now, just admit it for me." Pinned down, Tang Weiwei could only cry out helplessly, "Dad, save me." But as soon as the words left his mouth, he was slapped hard across the face. The man in the green suit grabbed Tang Weiwei by the collar. "You are mentally ill, do you understand me? You're insane." The words hit Tang Weiwei like a bolt of lightning. He began to sob uncontrollably. "I'm not crazy, no, I'm not crazy, I'm crazy, I'm not crazy, wait, I'm crazy." The man in the green suit ignored his son's breakdown and turned directly to Qin Tianxiong. "Lieutenant Qin, my son has been diagnosed with a mental illness. What are the next steps?" Qin Tianxiong replied, "First, he'll be taken to the military hospital for treatment. The military will resume its judgment once his condition has stabilized." The man in the green suit asked doubtfully, "In that case, what about Gao Neng? Now that he's been cleared, doesn't that mean his earlier confession was?" Before he could finish, Second Lieutenant Chen cut him off, surprising everyone. "No, Major Shen has given the order, as long as Gao Ning passed the neurological test, he's free to go home." As Second Lieutenant Chen handed Gao Ning the phone, he added, "Gao Neng, there are still a few loose ends in the investigation that require your cooperation. Take this phone and stay reachable 24/7, got it?" Gao Ning meekly complied, "All right." Holding the phone as he walked back, he thought, "Shen Ninger giving me a phone out of the blue like this, she's definitely up to something." A moment later, however, his confidence returned. "Whatever, I'm about to get 10% of 100,000, not to mention a novice treasure chest. All I need to do is get stronger, fast, that's the only way I can truly protect myself." Elsewhere, Shen Ninger was intently writing something. The paper listed their stats clearly: Gao Neng, appearance, 100, perfect, acting, 59, show-off, IQ, 60, passable, combat power, 2, low. Shen Ninger, appearance, 100, perfect, acting, 99, excellent, IQ, 99, genius, combat power, 99, unmatched. The more Shenninger stared, the more confused she became. My stats completely blow his out of the water, so how in the world did he knock me out? Was I just dreaming? It had to have been a dream. Shenninger thought to herself, her gaze fixed on something. Dream or not, I'll find out as soon as I test him. She was looking at her own photograph. Shenninger let out a smirk and made a call. Gao Neng, tonight I'm going to give you a little lesson on what real acting, and a real IQ, truly are. Suddenly, the phone in Gao Neng's pocket began to vibrate. He let out a sudden sneeze. Gao Ning couldn't help but wonder, a random sneeze, is someone talking smack about me? Principal Li approached Gao Neng. Gao Neng, are you coming down with something? Why don't you go home and rest today? With the university entrance exams just around the corner, you can't afford to get sick. Your house isn't too far, we're heading that way, we can give you a ride home, but Gao Ning immediately declined. Thank you, Principal, but I'll be fine on my own. Seeing this, Principal Li didn't press the issue. All right then, take care. Afterward, he couldn't help but sigh as he spoke to Teacher Zhang. That Gao Ning kid, his academic performance is great, but his combat ability is so weak, he'll have a tough time just scraping into the bottom tier of a military academy. Night falls on the dazzling, bustling city. A few beautiful women surrounded Gao Neng, smiling invitingly. Hey there, handsome, come have some fun with us. Just then, Gao Ning spoke up, his words making both girls' smiles freeze on their faces. You know any straight guys with six-pack abs, under 5% body fat, and weighing 100 kilos. Seeing their silence, Gao Ning immediately started to walk away. No, I thought not, then don't block this young master's path to a good time. He then walked up to a taxi driver, Northside Psychiatric Hospital. The driver was quick to warn him, kid, it's 25 Federation credits to get there, think it over. Gao Ning couldn't help but bargain. 15, the driver refused instantly. Then you can walk, Gao Ning continued to offer. 16, 17, that's as high as I'll go. At that, the driver stopped arguing. Fine, you sure know how to drive a hard bargain, kid. As he drove, the taxi driver asked, carrying a big bag like that this late at night, you going to see a doctor? Gao Ning replied, no, I'm just traveling. This left the driver completely baffled. Traveling, far as I know, that whole northern district is a wasteland. Other than that hospital, it's nothing but abandoned territory. What part of that are you traveling to, kid? Gao Ning put on a bizarre, creepy mask, then calmly replied in a way that was enough to terrify the driver, I'm traveling, at the psychiatric hospital. The driver was so scared he broke out in a cold sweat. Just then, a news report came on the radio, and now for a breaking news update. Strange phenomena have recently been reported near the Northside Psychiatric Hospital. 2 people have already gone missing in the area. We urge the public to be cautious when traveling nearby to prevent any unexpected incidents. After a moment, the driver slammed on the brakes. The driver forced a smile, his voice trembling with fear. We're here, I can tell you've got quite an aura, you must be an exceptional talent. Let's just say fate brought us together today. I'll only charge you 15 credits. Seeing this, Gao Ning couldn't help but feel grateful. Wow, you're a really good guy, thanks. He even dropped one of his tools. The sight of it only terrified the driver even more. Gao Ning quickly explained, oh, it's just for road work. I saw a chunk of rock sticking out by the hospital gate and was worried someone might trip, so I brought a hammer to level it. Naturally, the driver didn't buy it for a second, only managing to keep his strained smile in place. Another tool fell out. Seeing it, the driver asked again, that for roadwork too? Gao Ning answered calmly, yep, in case the hammer doesn't work, I brought a wrench as a backup. The driver, legs trembling, suggested, my man, it's getting a little stuffy in here, why don't you step out first and then pay? That's totally fine. Gao Ning thought it made sense. Yeah, you're right, I'll get out first. The next second, he stepped out of the car. But the moment he was out, the door slammed shut. As the car sped away, Gao Ning couldn't help but call after it, "Sir, your money." Completely clueless, Gao Ning thought to himself, what just happened? Was that driver really that nice of a person? That's right, he mentioned doing a good deed today, he must truly be a kind-hearted man. In the distance, a motorcycle was parked near the hospital. On the bike, Shen Ninger stared intently at Gao Ning and thought, the psychiatric hospital, if that's the case, then I'll show you what a textbook psychopath looks like. Elsewhere, in a magnificent mansion, a loud voice could be heard, "Lieutenant Qin, you'd better give me an explanation for what happened today." The man in the green suit asked from his seat, "If your abilities are this limited, perhaps I should just find myself another partner, shouldn't I?" On the other end of the line, Qin Tianxiong replied with a smile, "Are you talking about Shen Ninger, Tangde? This can't get out, not everyone in the Federation agrees with this partnership, you know. I've already probed her once to see if she was willing to cooperate with you, but she refused," the man in the green suit said with a stern face, "Whether you believe it or not, Shen Ninger truly has no desire to work with you three great powers." Qin Tianxiong's voice remained calm, "Brother Tang, don't try to scare me, by your logic, is the Federation here not to restore order, but to carry out a purge? Therefore, you should hurry up and give me that thing, earning credit for it is your best move." The man in the green suit was full of suspicion, "And why should I trust you?" Qin Tianxiong didn't bother explaining further, "Believe it or not, that's your call, I've said my piece." The next second, he abruptly ended the call, leaving the man in the green suit utterly stunned. "Hey, hey." The man in the green suit, furious, slammed his phone down on the table and yelled, "Is that any way to ask for a favor? Would it have killed you to beg a little, just a little more pleading and I would have given it to you?" But a moment later, he had to tell himself, "Patience, just a little more patience, Qin Tianxiong will definitely come begging to me again." With a dark glint in his eyes and a terrifying expression, the man in the green suit spoke, "After all, the intelligence I have in my hands is one of a pair." In a small room, a mysterious figure in a black cloak sat on a sofa and asked, "Has Tangde leaked the intel on the magnetic pair?" A beautiful woman kneeling on the floor replied instantly, "Not yet, it looks like he still hasn't negotiated favorable terms with the alliance. If he had already handed it over, I'd be useless to him, he wouldn't be sending me there anymore." The mysterious figure spoke, Let's put some more pressure on him, as long as he lets the alliance's people into the factory, he won't have any other options." The woman couldn't help but ask, "I heard from Tangde that the alliance is also sending a major this time, should I prepare more explosives for the factory?" The mysterious figure quickly agreed, "Yes, go and make the arrangements." Elsewhere, in a dark, cold, and gloomy hospital, Shen Ninger, in a patient's gown, smeared something onto her face. She mussed up her hair and muttered to herself, "Yep, from any angle, I look like a total psycho who could scare the crap out of someone in the middle of the night." With that, Shen Ninger picked up her phone and thought, "Let's see, what's keeping Gao Ning?" A sudden noise came from outside, and Shen Ninger knew instantly, he's here. Gao Ning was standing right at the door. Seeing him, Shen Ninger grinned with delight. She immediately jumped out to scare him, her appearance horrifying. However, contrary to what she expected, a tall, brawny man stood before her. The moment she saw the man, she was the one who got scared, letting out a loud, tearful shriek. Her scream seemed to echo throughout the entire hospital. Elsewhere, Gao Ning heard the scream and commented, "Still not quiet, even at night, the crazies in here sure are a handful." The brawny man was quickly beaten black and blue, left lying on the ground. After taking care of him, Shen Ninger muttered in disbelief, "I can't believe an actual psycho showed up." Seeing Gao Ning's location moving on her phone, Shen Ninger grew curious, a toy factory, what's Gao Ning doing there?" Meanwhile, Gao Ning had just stepped inside and exclaimed in alarm, "How long has this place been abandoned? It's completely falling apart." Fresh blood and paper talismans were scattered across the floor. Mustering his courage, Gao Ning gripped his hammer and pushed deeper inside, reassuring himself, whatever, tonight, I'm smashing every last one of these things. Gao Ning crept forward. All of a sudden, a cold gust of wind blew past him. Then, a black shadow zipped past. Gao Ning reacted in a flash, slamming his hammer down on the shadow. But he couldn't land a hit. When he saw the shadow was a cat, he let out a sigh of relief. It was just a stray. The next second, Gao Ning put on a mask and thought, I should keep my face covered from here on out, even getting scratched by a cat would suck. Elsewhere, Gao Ning's image appeared on a screen. In the surveillance room, two men watched him, chatting cheerfully. That kid's got a death wish, some guy died here just a few days ago, and now this one shows up, can't be helped, these broke-ass dogs are always coming here to scavenge, it has its uses. With that, the man in the blue shirt made a call, hello, is the acting crew there, if you ain't dead, get up and get to work, the other end quickly replied, yeah, we're here, another job, is it a guy or a girl, the man in blue snapped back, a guy, and don't get any ideas, this isn't playtime, he's about to reach the workshop door, just scare him off, and that's it, you're getting paid today, and tonight, I'll take you all out for a round. Hearing this, the voice on the other end grew curious, where are you taking us tonight, Brother Huang? The man in blue smiled, somewhere new, I'm not telling you yet, just do your job first, let me know when you're done, Fatty and I are going to catch a quick nap, we're gonna raise the roof tonight, the person on the other end immediately assured him, don't you worry, this isn't our first time, scaring people is our specialty. After hanging up, the man in blue scoffed, specialty, my ass, they're just a bunch of extras, but I guess they're dedicated, at least. Elsewhere, a cloaked figure held a phone in his hand. They were dressed up as terrifying ghosts. Alright, everyone, let's get to work. What is our dream? To be actors, even though we've killed a few people by now, that's not important. The leader declared, our hearts are pure, we have a dream, we may only be extras right now, but we must still perform our duties as actors, do you understand? The others replied in unison, understood. The leader asked once more, very good, and what is our objective? Everyone roared back, scare him, till he wets his pants, scare him, till he wets his pants. Back with Gao Ning, he was focused on surveying his surroundings. Breaking out in a cold sweat, he thought nervously, this place isn't actually haunted, is it? Why do I keep hearing the sound of wind? At that exact moment, a clap of thunder suddenly rang out. In a flash, a white ghost appeared behind Gao Ning. It appeared with a terrifying mask and an absurdly long tongue, Blelio. Gao Ning's eyes went wide with utter shock. He scrambled into action. The ghost, still completely in character, was stunned to see that instead of running, Gao Ning was charging straight for it with his hammer. Gao Ning smashed his hammer directly into the ghost. The mask shattered instantly, revealing a man's bruised and bloody face. Gao Ning snapped, annoyed, what the hell are you doing playing ghost, you scared the life out of me. Looking down at the defeated man, Gao Ning declared, pulling this supernatural crap right in front of my eyes, you clearly have a death wish, you're ugly enough as it is without trying to scare people, you deserve no mercy. 1. Gao Ning began looting the ghost's body. 2. At that moment, a system notification suddenly chimed, congratulations, host, for defeating a ghost, however, the target yielded no rewards, how do you feel? 3. Gao Ning scowled in annoyance and shot back, like hell, if I had to rely on your broadcast system to eat, I would have starved to death a long time ago. 4. He held the gold coins in his hand, a grin spreading across his face as he thought to himself, you can't count on anyone for anything, taking what you want, now that's how you get rich. 5. He couldn't help but burst out laughing with joy, jackpot, this has to be at least 500 alliance coins. 6. Then, Gao Ning began calculating with practiced skill, 500 for one ghost, which means 5,000 for 10, the mission target is 100,000, so I'll need to take down 200 ghosts, are there really that many here? 7. Elsewhere, Zhenzi was on the phone with her teammate. Zhenzi, this is Zishan, it's been half an hour and not a peep out of Longtongue, what's going on? Zishan quickly replied, who knows where he went off to slack, all he had to do was scare one kid, what's taking him so long? 8. Suddenly, a noise echoed from the distance. Zishan heard it on the other end of the line and quickly asked, what was that sound? Zhenzi replied, I'll go check it out. 9. The next moment, Zhenzi slowly stepped out to investigate. Gao Neng, still completely absorbed in his calculations, muttered, 500 for one ghost, 5,000 for 10, are there really that many ghosts here? 10. Zhenzi stepped out quietly. 11. Gao Neng stood up at that moment, seeing the scene before her. Zhenzi couldn't help but be taken aback. 12. Gao Neng put his mask back on. 13. Wearing the terrifying mask, he turned his head to look. 14. The sight sent Zhenzi scrambling in terror, letting out a shriek so loud her wig flew off her head. Oh my god. 15. Seeing more money on the table, Gao Neng obviously wasn't going to let it get away, he immediately gave chase. Number 2, don't run. 16. The sounds of a struggle echoed relentlessly. 17. In just a flash, Gao Neng had defeated the second one, he joyfully looted the body, thinking, at this rate, 200 ghosts in one night isn't impossible. 18. With his blood-stained tool in hand, Gao Neng declared confidently, after breaking through my body's limit for the first time, dealing with these things is a piece of cake. 19. He glanced back at the shovel he was holding and said, I guess this is for burying ghosts, huh? 20. Seeing the body before him, Gao Neng looked a bit weary, but it'd take way too much time to dig a hole and bury it now. 21. At this, his excitement returned, I'll just find a few more and bury them all at once. 22. Just as he finished his sentence, two figures suddenly appeared before him, catching Gao Neng by surprise. Oh. 23. A clown spoke with a cold, annoyed voice, where did this psycho come from, crashing our party? The bald man next to him chimed in, to think he'd dare to rob our brothers, the nerve on this guy. 24. The moment he saw the two of them, Gao Neng's eyes lit up. Money, he thought, this is just more money delivering itself right to my door. 25. Seeing his terrifying demeanor, the other two broke out in a cold sweat. 26. The next second, only desperate screams could be heard from outside. Damn, this kid is strong, he's killing us, help, who the hell is this lunatic? 27. After dealing with them, Gao Neng spoke calmly, it's so lonely at the top. 28. The group lay on the ground, beaten black and blue without an ounce of strength left. Gao Neng pocketed the cash and left cheerfully, that was some easy money, I'm about to be rich. 29. Standing before the workshop, he assessed the situation, that's 4 ghosts outside already, there's bound to be more inside. 30. And so, Gao Neng continued deeper inside. 31. He moved with quiet steps. 32. Surveying his surroundings, Gao Neng muttered, I've circled this place a few times already, and still not a single one, are you kidding me? I've only made 2,000 alliance coins, I need at least 196 more ghosts to pop out of somewhere. 33. He focused on his plan, I'm definitely not leaving empty-handed, if there are none in this workshop, I'll just find another one. 34. Just then, a figure appeared behind him and suddenly placed a hand on his shoulder, letting out a sinister laugh. 35. Gao Neng jumped, completely startled. 36. He quickly swung his axe in that direction, but the figure nimbly dodged to the side. 37. Gao Neng adjusted his mask, his eyes growing dead serious. 38. The one who had scared him was none other than Shenninger. She held a small teddy bear in her hand, giggling incessantly as she walked toward Gao Neng. 39. The teddy bear was covered in blood. 40. Shenninger let out a cold laugh, tearing the teddy bear apart, she threatened, 10 little dwarves, went out to dine, 1 choked on his food, and then there were 9. 41. Seeing her act, Gao Neng was completely unfazed. He charged forward with his axe, putting on a spooky act. In front of my axe, all you ghouls and goblins are just paper tigers. 42. Shen Ning'er swiftly dodged the blow. 43. The next second, she appeared right behind Gao Neng. Her face was dark, her eyes vacant as she chanted, 9 little dwarves, stayed up too late, 1 fell fast asleep and sealed his fate, and then there were 8. 44. Gao Ning attacked again, but missed. 45. The echoing voice continued to fill the chillingly empty space, 8 little dwarves, traveling through Devon, 1 said he'd stay there, and then there were 7 little dwarves, chopping up sticks, 1 chopped himself in half, and then there were 6. 46. Gao Ning tightened his grip on his weapon. 47. Wary and on guard, he broke into a cold sweat. This ghost, she seems different. Ning Er continued her eerie nursery rhyme, her voice echoing with a haunting melody. 3 little dwarves met with disaster, a bear fell from the sky, and then there were 2. This isn't some ghost girl, she's completely nuts, Gao Ning thought. What kind of twisted children's song is that? A countdown like this is terrifying. Plus, her speed was unbelievable, even for someone like him, who had broken through his limits before. Keeping up was impossible. Realizing he was at a disadvantage, Gao Ning knew he had to act. Just as the girl was about to sing, "Too little," he quickly cut her off. "Wait. Hey, little sis, good kids don't sing scary songs like that. How about we play a different game, okay?" The girl seemed delighted. "Then can I dance?" "Dance, sure, what do you want to dance?" Gao Ning agreed, already calculating his next move. Only a madman would dance with her in the middle of the night. If I can just get a little closer, I'll smash her face in with my hammer. The girl held her hands out toward him. "Let's play a clapping game. You clap once, I clap once. Deal. A clapping game it is." As Gao Ning replied, he slowly reached behind his back, secretly rummaging through his backpack for something. His expression turned serious. "This is my chance. Her guard is down, just 1 more step, and I can kill her." But first, he needed to know who this person playing ghost really was. Gao Ning's eyes scanned the disheveled girl. A line of information appeared, and his eyes immediately filled with shock, as her features came into focus. He was stunned to realize it was Ning Er. How is she here? Have I been exposed?" "Hey, let's play," Ning Er urged. Gao Ning could only push his thoughts aside for now, humming in agreement. The girl started the rhythm. "You clap once, I clap once, 1 little chick goes cluck, cluck, cluck." Meanwhile, in the surveillance room, Huang Ye and Mo Ting were fast asleep when an alarm suddenly blared. Mo Ting shot up instantly. "Get up, it's time to report," Huang Ye grumbled in annoyance. "Haven't those ghost wannabes checked in yet?" "Not yet, let me see." Mo Ting glanced at the monitor and couldn't help but curse under his breath. Curious, Huang Ye leaned in to look. "What's wrong? What are you seeing?" They both froze. On the screen, a scrap collector and a mental patient were playing a clapping game. Huang Ye roared in frustration. "Damn it, what the hell are those ghost actors doing? Why did they let these 2 in? Do they not want their jobs anymore or what?" Mo Ting pointed to a corner of the screen. "Huang Ye, look over here." There, their 4 subordinates lay motionless on the ground. Mo Ting asked anxiously, "Huang Ye, what do we do? Do we go out and kill them?" "Idiot," Huang Ye snapped, "you know who dies the fastest, self-righteous fools like you. Can't you see those 2 are anything but ordinary? Report to our superiors, now." "Yes, sir." Mo Ting scrambled to obey. Back with Gao Ning, his mind was still a mess. Is Ning Er tailing me because I've been found out, or is she just on a mission and ran into me by chance? Amid his confusion, Ning Er continued enthusiastically. "You clap 3, I clap 3, 3 little dogs go woof, woof, woof." With no other choice, Gao Ning had to play along, his mind racing, whatever, no matter what she's here for, she has no proof, you clap for, I clap for little mice go squeak, squeak. He barely finished the line before he slapped a hand over his mouth, but it was too late. Ning Er's gaze instantly sharpened, she strode toward him aggressively. Gao Ning, it really is you, it was a trap. Gao Ning's heart sank. You recognized me a while ago, didn't you? Ning Er asked directly. Why else would you mention a mouse? How did you know? Who sent you? Gao Ning was speechless, unsure how to explain. I'm screwed, so screwed, one wrong move and the whole game is lost, anything I say now will just dig me in deeper. Gao Ning's hand, gripping the hammer, twitched, he decided to attack. But just as he raised the hammer, Ning Er blocked it with one hand. With a hiss, the metal melted and warped, leaving only the wooden handle. Attacking a major twice in a row, Ning Er said coldly, a glowing hot lump of molten iron in her palm, that's a serious crime. Seeing the vast difference in their power, Gao Ning turned tail and ran. A warrior with an energy materialization ability, she has to be at least a 3-time limit breaker. I can't win this, running is my only option. But Ning Er wasn't about to let him get away. Running, you think you can escape? A shackle shot from her hand, wrapping tightly around Gao Ning's ankle. He crashed to the ground. This is. Any last words? Ning Er asked arrogantly. Gao Ning tried to negotiate. Isn't it a bit early for last words? I'm still in the prime of my youth. I can explain. Suddenly, he shouted, Ning Er, look out behind you. She scoffed, assuming it was another trick. You're about to die and you're still pulling this old trick. Do you really think I'd? Before Ning Er could finish her sentence, she felt a lethal wave of killing intent wash over her from behind. She spun around defensively. A stranger appeared, remarking with surprise, materialized killing intent, interesting. 2 more figures appeared behind him. They spoke in unison. I never thought we'd meet a master like you in the Forsaken Land. A shame you seem to be all alone, though. The atmosphere in the workshop was tense, and Ning Er could feel it. She turned to Gao Ning, her voice probing, are you all in this together? You said you didn't know them. Seeing Gao Ning's silence, Amei spoke up, sizing up Ning Er. Their intel was wrong, this girl was no ordinary lunatic. Gu Su added, I heard there's a major in the alliance who can also manifest energy. I wonder if it's her. She doesn't really look like her picture. For E2 was getting impatient. To him, all this talk was a waste of time. When you're only facing one person, the quickest solution is to just attack. Just then, Makoto spoke, affecting a polite tone. If you are indeed a major in the military, then forgive my rudeness. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Makoto, 33 years old, and still single. And what might your name be, miss? Ning Er was surprised. That young man, Gao, had introduced himself as a student from the 3rd senior high school. Gao Ning replied with a curious look, a powerful beauty, a pleasure to meet you. I have to ask, what's with the disguise? The moment he finished speaking, a blast of energy erupted from his palm, shooting straight for Ning Er. She didn't even flinch, instantly summoning the true dragon annihilation formation to defend herself. Makoto suddenly burst out laughing, powerful beauty, you've fallen right into my trap. His fist pierced through her defense, aimed straight at the dragon's sharp claws. A blinding flash of light erupted, forcing Gao Ning to squint in annoyance. Seriously, light pollution in the middle of the night, have you no conscience? He suddenly realized something strange, the other 3 were ganging up on Ning Er. And yet, she was holding her own against all 3 of them. Gao Ning was stunned, so this is what a fight between energy warriors looks like. System alert, host is in imminent danger of being killed, activate a new mission to save your life. A last-minute rescue mission, seriously, he agreed without hesitation, activate it now. System alert, new mission activated, select 1, 2, or 3, mission, fight Ning Er to a standstill within 1 hour, note, if I can fight you once, I can fight you twice. Youthful passion reward, a real man must be dominant and act decisively. Gao Ning was furious when he heard that, if I could actually beat Ning Er, I wouldn't need you to save my life. But then he remembered, wait a minute, if there's a mission, there must be a hint. System notification, please select a difficulty level, difficulty, nightmare. Now's not the time to be choosing, only an idiot would pick nightmare difficulty, just give me the hint. System alert, nightmare difficulty selected successfully, hint, heaven gave me talent for a reason. What kind of hint is that? No more words are needed, face the challenge and complete the nightmare difficulty. The host will receive a mid-grade young treasure 100% of the time, with a 10% chance to activate the lucky prize wheel. A chill ran down Gao Ning's spine. Everyone dies eventually, it's just a matter of sooner or later. Suddenly, a massive explosion erupted from behind him. He whipped around to see Ning Er's true dragon engulfed in flames. This was Makoto's plan. He believed that no matter how hard the metal, it would melt under intense heat. Watch me melt it down, what will you fight me with then? Gao Ning recognized the burning substance as magnesium. This guy was an energy warrior who could manipulate elements. If this kept up, the Iron Dragon really was going to melt. But that would only happen if Ning Er was using ordinary iron energy. Suddenly, the dragon in the sea of fire began to absorb all the essence. Her manifested energy started to transform, gradually becoming a steel dragon. When the steel dragon's form was complete, it let out a heaven-shaking roar. Makoto's face went pale with fear. How is this possible? No. In the blink of an eye, he became prey in the steel dragon's jaws. The other two were frozen in terror. Gao Ning was horrified, too, an energy warrior, taken down in an instant. Ning Er's voice was ice-cold. All right, which of you is next? E2 gritted his teeth, a desperate look in his eyes. Energy manifestation, it's even more terrifying than I imagined, but I've lived a full life, and today, I'll give everything I have to challenge your power. I may cut in decisively, let's go together. Without a moment's hesitation, they both charged the steel dragon. Just then, another explosion went off. That smell, it's sulfur. The foul stench hit Gao Ning, and he had to cover his nose. Amei unleashed her unique ability. Ribbons of energy, like ropes, wrapped tightly around the steel dragon, pinning it down. E2 grinned triumphantly. Your steel may not melt, but can it resist corrosion? Amei boasted confidently. My element eats through iron like yours for breakfast. It was only then that Gao Ning realized, the non-metal element, sulfur, and the metal element, copper. The combination of those two energies was incredibly dangerous. I'm still not qualified to step into a battle between energy warriors. Surrounded, Ning Er remained strangely calm. You're not wrong, my steel dragon is indeed helpless against your abilities. However, did you really think that iron is the only thing I can control? E2 stammered, what did you just say? Ning Er didn't answer. She simply let an object fall from her hand to the ground, where the pill gently split in two. A wave of pure, unadulterated power instantly emanated from it. Is that a real cryptosome? Gao Ning was stunned. He immediately looked for a way out. He'd let them and Ming Zhu sort things out first. Seeing that things were going south, E2 and Amei also prepared to retreat. But Ning Er had no intention of letting them go, trying to run, too late. Metallic energy coalesced, forming a colossal arm. It shot towards the fleeing Amei. In a panic, she used her ability to conjure a shield, but it was useless. The energy barrier shattered like glass. Amei was sent flying. Her body, battered and bruised. Ironically, she landed right in front of Gao Ning, who was also trying to make a break for it. He froze. For a moment, they just stared at each other in silence. The moment Amei saw him, the terror on her face intensified. She's scared of me. Gao Ning analyzed the situation. Right, they have no idea why I'm really here, all they know is that I showed up with Ning Er. Maybe I can use this, I'll just play along, act intimidating, might as well see where it goes. Just then, Ning Er's commanding voice echoed, "Don't move." The immense pressure radiating from her power armor made Gao Ning flinch, while Amai was frightened to her very core. She burst into tears, screaming to her comrade, "E2, save me, if you get me out of this alive, I'll sleep with you tonight." From the back, E2 simply clasped his hands in prayer, "Amitba." "I'm screwed," Gao Ning thought despairingly, "stuck between a rock and a hard place, looks like this is where I die, if I get a next life, I swear I'm going to kill that goddamn system, I'll grind it to dust and scatter the ashes myself." A synthesized voice from Ning Er's armor addressed him directly, "Major Shen, your subordinate has neutralized these two, the rest is up to you." Gao Ning had to admit, he was impressed. She's good. With a single sentence, she'd flipped their roles, testing his motives for being at the factory while simultaneously cornering her opponent. "But I'm not a pawn she can just use for free," he cleared his throat and answered loudly, "Good work, Gao Shaoi." He then squared up, taking a fighting stance against Amai. Then, turning to Ning Er, he smirked, "Let's see who's playing who today, you stay out of it, this one's mine." Amai stared, dumbfounded and slack-jawed, resigning herself to her fate. Even Ning Er was caught off guard by his move. In the surveillance room, Mo Ting and his crew watched the monitors, utterly speechless. "Whoa, what a badass, what is even happening, who am I, where am I right now, who the hell wrote this script, I wanna go home." Huangya was so scared he could barely speak. "PH phone, call the boss." Now, Mo Ting was in no better shape. Right, on it, calling her now." With trembling hands, he dialed the number, his voice cracking as he reported, "Boss, it's bad, some psycho just showed up at the factory. She can materialize metal, Makoto and E2 are dead, Amai is next, and the whole factory is about to go up in smoke." Elsewhere, Yi Ying ended the call. Her expression was pensive. Tang De, sitting opposite her, was clearly surprised. "Are you saying that Major from the Alliance is probably at the factory right now? What the hell is going on?" Yi Ying narrowed her eyes, her tone sharp. "Tang De, you haven't given that thing to Qin Tianxiong yet, have you?" He frowned. "What are you implying?" "Nothing," Yi Ying said with a shrug. "I know you want to work with the Alliance, but just think, if their Major were to die in that factory, do you really think you'd still have a deal? My original plan was simple, I'd wait for you to hand over the files, then blow Qin Tianxiong and the entire factory sky high. Your ambitions would have gone up in flames with them, but now, Qin Tianxiong isn't there, an Alliance Major is, we can't let a golden opportunity like this go to waste." Enraged, Tang De lunged forward and grabbed Yi Ying by the throat. "You dare play me," he snarled, "I'll kill you." Unfazed, Yi Ying merely smiled. Now, Tang De, no need to be rash, isn't removing an obstacle a good thing, you can still cooperate with the Alliance, we'll help you, they'll help you, what's the downside? The factory is already rigged with explosives, on my command, that Major dies, now, imagine if the Alliance found out it was your leak that led to their Major's death. Tang De shoved her hand away, growling, "You think you've got me backed into a corner, we're in the same boat now," Yi Ying said, calmly brushing off her clothes. "As long as we keep our mouths shut, no one will ever know why their Major died there, you're still you, Tang De." "Well, I'll be going now, once you've had a chance to think it over, Mr. Tang, feel free to come by the factory, we can watch together and see if the good Major survives." With that, she turned on her heel and walked away. Tang De collapsed back into his chair, his face a mask of bitter resignation. He let out a frustrated curse, "Son of a bitch." Seeing Mei standing there motionless, Gao Ning's voice dripped with mockery. "What's wrong, not coming over? Fine, I'll make the first move then." With that, he reached into his shirt and started rummaging around. The unexpected action put Mei on high alert, completely unsure of what he was planning. All of a sudden, Gao Ning whipped out a wrench, stunning Ah Mei for a brief moment. Without a single word, he raised the wrench high and brought it crashing down on the shackle on his ankle. The moment the iron shackle shattered, Gao Ning bolted, leaving a stunned Ah Mei in his dust. Just then, Ning Er finished with Ah Mei and immediately turned on him. Gao Ning, where do you think you're running? His escape route cut off, Gao Ning frantically scanned his surroundings. His gaze suddenly locked onto a nearby sewer manhole. Without a second thought, he decided it was his only escape. He leaped down into the darkness, Ning Er's furious roar echoing from above. Staring into the dark opening, Ning Er sneered, "You despicable little rat, you really think you can run from me, a prodigy who's as talented as she is beautiful?" Her face was a mask of pure confidence. From the depths of the sewer, Gao Ning's defiant shout echoed back, "You're not catching me down here. Never mind the fact that your golden giant ape can't fit into a space this tight, this sewer system is a labyrinth. Finding me in here will be like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Failing the mission means punishment, sure, but it's a hell of a lot better than dying." Ning Er's voice echoed menacingly from above, "There's nowhere to run, Gao Ning, tell me everything you know, and I'll think about making your death a pleasant one. Seriously, you're still chasing me, you followed me into this disgusting sewer, doesn't a major in the Alliance have any shame?" Gao Ning was at a loss for words, but then he shot back with a challenge, "Fine, keep chasing, if you can actually catch me, forget about making me talk, you can do whatever you want with me." After a moment of sensing his location, Ning Er realized he hadn't gotten far. She decided it was time to make her move. Channeling her powers, she caused chunks of metal within the earth to begin to shift and transform. They morphed into iron hounds that growled and charged toward Gao Ning. Overwhelmed by their sheer numbers and bizarre forms, Gao Ning cried out in disbelief, "Are you kidding me?" He lost his footing and stumbled backward. The pack of iron hounds immediately caught his scent and gave chase as one. The lead hound leaped out of a manhole to survey the area before quickly rejoining the hunt. Gao Ning ran for his life, his thoughts racing, "You've got to be kidding me, how are they tracking me like this? Can energy warriors really give their energy constructs a sense of smell? Energy warriors are on another level, I have to become one, no matter what." Ning Er had entered the sewer as well and was now hot on his heels. She growled, "Trying to escape from me, in your dreams." Gao Ning scrambled over an obstacle with all his might, but the moment his feet hit the ground, the color drained from his face. Ahead of him, the path was completely blocked by a wall of barrels and junk, a dead end. He kicked furiously at the barrels, cursing non-stop, "You've got to be kidding me, a dead end in a damn sewer, what heartless bastard piled up all this junk?" Ning Er slowly closed in, her voice dripping with scorn, "Go on, run, why have you stopped? I told you, you can't escape from me. I'm giving you 10 seconds, tell me everything, what's your goal, and why did you attack me in my room?" Gao Ning took a step back, falling into a defensive stance. A smirk played on Ning Er's lips as she opened her mouth to speak again, but her confident expression vanished, replaced by a look of shock. She screamed in a panic, "Gao Ning, get away from there, hurry, get over here now." Before Gao Ning could process what was happening, the barrels behind him erupted in a massive explosion. Amid the thunderous blast, his shocked voice cried out, "What did you say?" Gao Ning couldn't believe his eyes, explosives, a whole pile of them, hidden in a trash can. Survival instinct screaming, he immediately bolted. But UNI acted first, her abilities shot out, surrounding him completely. Trapped and cornered, Gao Ning's stress skyrocketed. "Are you serious? You're still trying to settle a score at a time like this?" But then he froze, the ability didn't attack, instead, it formed a solid sphere, enveloping them both. "This is protecting me." A moment later, a terrifying explosion erupted. UNI threw a punch, and the metal sphere instantly activated, shielding them from the blast. The massive shockwave ripped through the area, sending her entourage flying. Inside the sphere, Gao Neng and UNI were thrown off balance by the impact. The second she regained her footing, UNI grabbed Gao Neng by the collar, her voice seething with anger. "Nice one, Gao Neng, that's the third time you've ambushed a major, you're dead meat this time." Choking in her grip, he frantically waved his hands. "Whoa, hold on, are you for real? You just saved me, and now you want to kill me. Don't you ever get tired? Why make things so hard?" Yuni's voice was ice. "Save you, dream on, I was just keeping my word. You have 10 seconds to confess, you've got 5 seconds left. If you don't tell me how and why you broke into my room, I'm throwing you out of here." At the same time, the system's voice echoed in his head. "Mission, where there's a second, there's a third, time remaining, 5 seconds, please seize the moment." Host, Gao Neng was so fed up, he lashed out at it. "Piss off." UNI began the countdown. 5. 4. He gritted his teeth. Women, he thought, were such fickle creatures. If this is how it's gonna be, then don't blame me for being ruthless. Suddenly, Yuni's grip on his collar loosened, her face went pale with fear. "Don't tell me you." Gao Ning offered a friendly reminder. "Did you forget, we're in a sewer?" From inside his collar, a small mouse suddenly poked its head out. Seeing it leap toward her, UNI screamed in terror, clutching her head. "Now's my chance." Gao Ning seized the opportunity, stealthily pulling out the wrench hidden behind his back. The system's countdown timer showed exactly 1 second left. With a demonic expression, he swung the weapon high, bringing it down with a precise strike on the mouse on Yuni's head. Die. Her vision blurred, her mind growing hazy. In the final second, UNI collapsed, unconscious. The system immediately sent a notification, complete with a flashy celebratory banner. "Congratulations, host, for completing the nightmare difficulty mission. Where there's a second, there's a third. Your rewards for this mission are 1 mid-grade treasure chest and a 10% chance at the lucky prize wheel." Gao Ning scoffed. "I just survived a near-death experience, a 10% chance might as well be nothing." The system's prize will begin to spin. "Too bad your luck sucks, but don't despair, as abysmal as your luck was this time, it could always be worse next time. Keep up the good work, kid." Now, dispensing your prize. Tissues as soft as silk, for your every need, to wipe away your loneliness in the dead of night, and to dry the tears of your tragic struggle against fate. Feeling utterly mocked, Gao Ning grabbed the system interface and roared, "Ni Lu Qinghe, I'll make you bleed a river, I risked my life for a damn pack of tissues." The system, seeming pleased with itself, offered a philosophical reply, such as life rarely goes as planned, at least you still have the mid-grade treasure chest. Soul Tempering Pill, can be used to temper the host's soul strength. It enhances the power of your sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. The stronger your soul becomes, the sharper your senses will be. A warm energy spread from the pill, enhancing Gao Ning's senses. The strengthening process was completed in an instant. He looked at the pill in his hand with satisfaction. Tempering the soul, enhancing the senses, this thing wasn't bad at all. Chao Ning cradled the soul-refining pill in his hand like a priceless treasure. He wasn't an expert in the art of soul cultivation, but the promise of enhanced senses alone made the pill an invaluable reward. His gaze fell upon Ning Er, lying motionless on the ground. He had no idea when she'd regain consciousness. He pulled out a rope. As far as Chao Ning was concerned, chivalry doesn't pay the bills, better safe than sorry. With that, he proceeded to bind her securely from head to toe, trussing her up like a holiday roast. Chao Ning nodded in satisfaction. "Yeah, that should do it." With his task complete, he swallowed the pill and stretched out on the floor, bracing himself for the familiar, agonizing ecstasy he knew was coming. A minute passed, still nothing. 5 minutes passed, Unable to wait any longer, Chao Ning opened his eyes. What's going on? Why isn't anything happening? Suddenly, a strange sound made him freeze in place. He shot up, straining to hear footsteps, or am I just imagining it? The whole level above was destroyed, buried under hundreds of tons of concrete. There's no way anyone could be walking around down here. Streams of his unique energy began to radiate from his body. It passed through solid rock and concrete walls, spreading through room after room. Finally, as two familiar figures came into view, his expression turned to one of utter disbelief. What do you think, Tangda? Should I have my people search the area? Yi Ying asked. There's no need, Tangda replied. No way, it's Tangda. Chao Ning was floored. He's all the way outside, but I can see him, and hear every word they're saying as if they were right here. So this is the result of refining my soul and enhancing my senses. Tangda continued. Tian Xiong said the appointment letter will be ready tomorrow. The condition is 10 pieces a month. Yi Ying frowned. 10 pieces, your alliance certainly has a big appetite. All right, we'll meet his terms. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to participate directly. How about I send a couple of my people over? Do as you see fit, Tangda said with a wave of his hand. The car immediately drove away. Chao Ning focused his psychic energy. Following Yi Ying, he realized she was heading toward the psychiatric hospital on the north side of the city. She walked down a deserted corridor where, to his amazement, she revealed a secret passage. Yi Ying descended a staircase leading down into a cellar. The discovery left Chao Ning reeling. There's a base this huge hidden underneath the psychiatric hospital. The psychic images flooding his mind revealed a massive, sprawling factory. The real dream toy factory is here. So that means the factory above ground was just a decoy, and all those explosives were part of the deception, too. What he saw next left him speechless. Standing opposite Yi Ying was a figure completely shrouded in a black cloak, their gender impossible to discern. Chao Ning tried to focus his psychic energy, attempting to get a clearer view. But the moment his perception drew near, the figure suddenly looked up, staring right at him through the void. Instantly, the psychic feed went black. Chao Ning gasped, stumbling backward and collapsing onto the floor, his heart hammering against his ribs. He couldn't shake the shock. I can't believe the real factory is hidden under the hospital. That means Su Dui has to be there. As he glanced at his virtual status screen, Chao Ning was hit with another shock. Vitality, 120 to 202, Spirit Power, 17 to 150, Rank, Elite. My max Spirit Power jumped from 96 all the way to 150, a 54-point increase just like that, and my rank is Elite now. Looks like I need to start taking more nightmare difficulty missions. The greater the power, the greater the motivation. Right now, the priority is getting to that underground factory and making that 100 grand. According to the mental map I made just now, there's a water pipe that runs from here to the hospital. I should be able to follow it over. However, Chao Ning's gaze fell on Ning Er, his expression troubled. The problem is her. If someone comes searching this place, she'll be a major liability. He leaned down and muttered, Major Shen, it's not that I'm trying to be a brute, but my family's safety is more important. Please forgive the intrusion. With that, he quickly frisked her and took what he was looking for. I promise, I'll give this back the first chance I get, but right now, I have to find Su Dui and earn my money. Chao Ning had no idea that Ning Er had been conscious for quite some time. Su Dui, she thought, how could he possibly know that name? As he slung her over his shoulder, she made a decision. Now isn't the right time to act. This is actually a perfect opportunity. Let's just see where you plan on taking me. Gao Ning carefully made his way through the mountains. The layout of the factory clear in his mind. At the same time, sweat poured down his forehead. And his strength was rapidly draining. He couldn't understand what was happening. Only 10 seconds had passed. but his mental energy had already dropped by more than 60 points, leaving him with less than 50. I can't keep this up. Am I supposed to get some exercise every 10 seconds? He tried narrowing the range of his mental power. Immediately, the burden on him lifted, he let out a sigh of relief. It seemed that keeping the range within 10 meters was a reasonable limit. After adjusting Ning Air on his shoulder, Gao Ning pressed on. He figured he was getting close to the psychiatric hospital, about 7 or 8 meters ahead. He could sense a large, empty space below him. This must be the underground factory. I need to recover my stamina first, then I'll look for the paired magnetite. Suddenly, his sharp senses picked up strange sounds, focusing his attention in the distance. Gao Ning froze when he saw several figures digging. Paired ore. Could the paired ore and the paired magnetite be in the same place? Without a second thought, he rushed forward with Ning Air in his arms. Once he arrived, Gao Ning skillfully hid behind a wall, calculating his next move. 15 more meters to the paired ore, but with all these guards around, rushing in would be suicide. Wait, the system's hint was 2 a.m., that must be my chance. He glanced at his evolution panel. February 10th, that's weird, I'm pretty sure I've completed 3 tasks, right? Evolution 2 out of 10, sacrificing Ning Air, and the random quest. Don't tell me the random quest doesn't count toward my progress. Just then, on the other side, a group of men began to talk. Kai and I are going to take a break, you two stay here and keep watch. Got it, us again, Brother Dan, we've been on guard duty for almost a week, it's supposed to be someone else's turn. Hearing this, Brother Dan's expression soured. You got a problem with that? The 2 men quickly backed down. No, not at all, you and Kai go get some rest, we'll handle things here. Watching the 2 of them leave, the remaining henchmen could only fume in silence. They plopped down on the ground to rest, sighing, been on our feet all day, I'm so damn tired, and sleepy. Seeing the 2 of them start to doze off, Gao Ning knew his moment had come. Meanwhile, Ning Air, who was only pretending to be unconscious, suddenly felt a wave of psychic energy envelop her. She was stunned. Psychic power, this scumbag has psychic powers, or am I imagining things? I could break free from this in 3 seconds flat, but he took my energy core. Without a power source, I'm pretty much helpless. I should just wait. He seems like he's trying to get out there. Once he's out, I'll take my core back. Seeing Gao Ning staring intently in one direction, Ning Air guessed, is he about to make a move? Suddenly, Gao Ning whipped his head around, his sharp gaze fixed right on Ning Air. Without a word of warning, he swung his hand and chopped the back of her neck again. Before she completely lost consciousness, Ning Air's last thought was, how could he have seen through my act? On high alert, Gao Ning wondered to himself, why did I get the feeling she just moved? That was close. He hoisted her back onto his shoulder, thinking it was better to be safe than sorry. Dead or not, one more hit couldn't hurt. A system notification popped up. Host has successfully obtained the Ruthless Flower Crusher achievement. There is a certain probability of triggering the Ruthless Flower Crusher bonus quest. Gao Ning asked silently, what's a bonus quest? Penalty: none. Bonus quests offer rich rewards, have a long completion period, and there is no penalty for failure. Gao Ning thought back on what had happened. It seemed like doing things to Ning Air always came with benefits. Sacrificing her boosted his talent, and knocking her out earned him Ruthless Flower Crusher. If I went all the way, I wonder if I'd get a night shift achievement. System: it is now 2 a.m. Friendly reminder: host, please proceed with the mission. To prepare for his mission, Gao Ning quietly pried open a manhole cover near the 2 seated workers. He moved like a shadow, raising a wrench high and aiming for his targets. 2 dull thuds echoed in the quiet. Gao Ning watched in satisfaction as the 2 workers slumped to the ground. Thanks to his spiritual power, he could sense their every move, even through the wall. He couldn't help but mutter, today, I'm a master who can see through the mortal world, but time's running out, gotta hurry. He started digging. He quickly discovered something strange: his spiritual power couldn't penetrate the layer of ore ahead. On the surface, they looked perfectly normal, but Gao Ning was certain something was hidden within. Opportunity only comes to those who seize it. He decided to dig like a madman. The only way to know if this was a waste of time was to find out. The commotion from Gao Ning's digging drew the attention of a man nearby. He barked irritably, "What the hell are you doing? Who's there, digging in the middle of the night? What's all this noise? You out of your mind? Hey, I'm talking to you, turn around." Gao Ning calmly turned around and replied, "Hey, Dan. Just thought I'd put in a little overtime while it's quiet." Hearing this, the man named Dan didn't press him further, just snorted derisively, "Another damn fool from who knows where. Let me tell you something, kid, you'd be lucky to dig up 20 of these a month. It's not about strength, it's about luck. Now go back to sleep and let me get some rest, I'm beat." The man's words accidentally revealed a crucial piece of information. Gao Ning immediately latched onto the key phrase, 20 stones. He knew for sure now that there was a jackpot to be found here. As soon as the man was gone, his spirit soared, and he resumed digging with renewed vigor. Dust flew everywhere as his hands worked tirelessly, but after 4 straight hours of digging, Gao Ning still had nothing to show for it. He stopped and glanced at the 2 workers, still unconscious. Hitting them again wouldn't be a big deal, but accidentally killing them would be a huge pain. He hesitated. Should I just give up and come back tomorrow? No, it definitely won't be this easy then. After weighing his options, he picked up the shovel again, deciding to give it 1 more hour. If he still found nothing, he was out of there. Just then, someone walked up to him. "Hey, brother, you're up early." Gao Ning was surprised to see other workers already starting to arrive. He replied casually, "I thought I was the earliest one here, didn't expect to see anyone up before me." "Gotta be early to get the worm," another worker chimed in. Blending into the growing crowd, Gao Ning cursed inwardly, "They start work this damn early here." More and more people were showing up. Staying here was getting dangerous. He had to find a way to leave. With that thought, he jammed his shovel into the ground in frustration. Unexpectedly, a piece of ore popped up from the earth. The strange stone immediately caught everyone's attention. A worker snatched it up and shouted, "I found an ore, I found an ore." But his celebration was short-lived. Gao Ning swung his shovel and smashed it straight into the man's face. He said coldly, "Lucky you, and here's your reward." After dealing with a few others who looked ready to pounce, he slung the shovel over his shoulder and declared arrogantly, "Your ore, I'm the one who dug this up, you have the nerve to steal it, anyone else want to try?" Whispers rippled through the distant crowd. Someone struck it rich. Who was it? The workers surrounded Gao Ning. Just then, Dan pushed his way to the front. "So you did get lucky after all," he said. "Hand over the ore, I'll go get the reward for you. 1,000 alliance coins is a pretty sweet deal for you." That ridiculously low price made Gao Ning freeze. 1,000 coins. Seeing him hesitate, Dan ordered, "What are you waiting for? Hand it over." Just then, a notification panel appeared before Gao Ning's eyes. Violet crystal ore detected, color, purple, quality, intermediate grade, market price, 356,981 coins, system acquisition price, 350,000, activating hidden resource recovery function. Does the host wish to recover it immediately? The number 350,000 made Gao Ning's eyes light up. Dan's demand was answered with a devastating swing of the shovel. The entire crowd of workers stared, mouths agape, unable to believe someone would dare to attack the foreman. They looked at each other in terror. Gao Ning sneered, 1,000 alliance coins for an ore worth 350,000, you must think I'm a complete idiot. In Kai crept out, taking in the devastating sight of his fallen men. He immediately smashed the alarm. "Guards, someone get over here." His voice boomed over the intercom, echoing throughout the cavern, offering a reward for whoever could capture the ore thief. At his command, the miners swarmed toward Gao Ning, screaming, "Get him, that reward is mine." But Gao Ning handled them all with ease. The staff in his hands was a blur of motion, effortlessly taking them down one by one. This kid is way too strong. Could he be a spy from another faction? Ing Kai thought, horrified. Just then, he realized where Gao Ning was headed, straight for him. Without a moment's hesitation, Ing Kai ripped off his shirt, revealing a physique of rippling muscle. He declared arrogantly, "You think you can escape from me, Ing Kai of the Spirit Snake Fist, in your dreams." The arrogant words had barely left his mouth when a staff smashed squarely into his face. "Smart dogs know when to get out of the way," Gao Ning sneered. The remaining men were stunned silent. Ing Kai, a notorious thug, had been taken down in a single blow. What chance did they have? After my first physical limit breakthrough, dealing with ordinary people is a piece of cake, Gao Ning thought. This time, his opponents weren't monsters like Ninger, just regular fighters. He'd been holding back for way too long. Gao Ning carved a path straight through them. No one could stop him. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light erupted from the cavern ceiling right behind him. A massive staff came crashing down, shattering the rock ceiling and blasting a huge hole. Gao Ning scrambled away, a familiar sense of dread washing over him. When facing an energy warrior, he was still no match. The attack pursued him relentlessly. He threw up a psychic shield to block it. But the force of the blow still grazed his shoulder, leaving a searing burn. "You used psychic energy to predict my attack," the voice of the energy warrior Gao Shi rang out. "Not bad, but you're not getting away." With that, he shot after him. Gao Ning sprinted toward a nearby manhole cover. He's definitely a master, but even a master can't fight an energy warrior. Before jumping in, he didn't forget to glance back and wave goodbye. This master is outta here. Gao Ning landed safely below. But all he saw was a severed rope. A chill ran down his spine. He remembered knocking out all the workers, but he'd forgotten about Ninger. Suddenly, Ninger's ice-cold voice came from behind him. "You're back." Her sword was already at his throat. "Shall we continue our little game? For instance, wanna guess who's going to kill you first?" System notification. Host is in mortal danger. Ninger's intent to kill is genuine. Activate life-saving mission. Gao Ning cursed the system under his breath. "Every time my life is in danger, it's your fault. Stop acting so damn innocent." "What are you muttering about?" Ninger asked. "Are you sure you don't want to activate?" A little hint for the host. It's have fun or die. Gao Ning immediately plastered on a smile and made his choice, trying to buy himself another minute of life. Activate it. Refreshing. Confirmed. Host has successfully activated the life-saving mission. No retreat. Fight till dawn. Mission description. Opportunity is knocking. A real man isn't afraid of death. Awaken your youth and passion, and show everyone with your own power that no one can defeat you. Completion condition. Before 9 a.m., rely on your own strength to eliminate the evil and destroy this entire underground factory. Remember, by your own strength. Failure penalty, death. Gao Ning was utterly speechless. The absurd mission made him recall, "My name is Gao Ning. When I was 18, I stumbled upon a system. It told me I was the chosen one." To be honest, he'd known that since he was 6, it's just that no one around him understood. Back then, people would just worry, "Is there something wrong with that boy's head?" Please select the difficulty level. Gao Ning was losing his patience. Why is this system such a complete bastard? Gao Ning told himself to stay calm. He was a magnificent poised, patient, and carefree. With a face like his, any disaster was bound to become a blessing. "Damn it, system, I've made up my mind. I choose normal difficulty. 2 hints, please and thank you." Apologies, an uncompleted normal difficulty mission has been detected. You may only select elite or nightmare difficulty at this time. The system's reply sent Gao Ning into a fury. "What the hell is your problem? Is it a crime for me to be this good looking?" Just then, the cellar ceiling exploded. rubble and massive slabs of concrete rained down right where Gao Ning stood. Gao Su leaped down from the gaping hole, his voice dripping with contempt. Did you really think you could escape my turf? Spotting Ning Er behind him, a flash of surprise crossed Gao Su's face. Oh, so you brought a friend. What is this, some kind of tragic romance? Gao Ning staggered up, snapping, tragic romance my ass. He snatched a nearby shovel and charged straight at his opponent. Gao Su was stunned. A shovel, is he serious? The shovel slammed squarely into his face, but strangely, there was no resistance at all. Gao Ning stared, dumbfounded. It was that easy to land a hit. Ning Er was stunned too. Gao Su stared at him, his eyes wide with disbelief. How is this possible? Why couldn't I block that? You suppressed my iron energy, how? Pressing his advantage, Gao Ning swung the shovel again. We're in the middle of a fight and you're still monologuing, you got no class. As the factory workers stared in astonishment, Gao Su was knocked flying back up through the hole. He was still trying to talk tough. How dare you hit me, do you have any idea who I? Gao Ning leaped after him, swinging the shovel relentlessly. Shut up, all I know is that I'm taking your life right now. Gao Su was beaten so badly he could only curl up and shield his head. The nearby workers screamed in panic. What the hell is happening? Are you an idiot? Get back. Even an energy adept is getting his ass kicked by a shovel. You want to try your luck? Gao Ning paused his assault. He realized this guy must have the ability to see the future. Suddenly, a squad of heavily armed soldiers swarmed in. Their leader, a man named Cheng, bellowed, "Nobody move, who's causing this disturbance?" Gao Ning was taken aback. He hadn't expected so many people to be at this factory. Ning Er remarked, so this must be Wang Ju's nest, not that many of them, really. Gazing at the small army in front of him, Gao Ning thought he must have misheard her. This is what she calls, not that many. As his men helped him up, Gao Su snarled through gritted teeth, "You little bastard, I'm going to make sure there's not even enough of you left to bury." Ning Er turned to Gao Ning, "You didn't do half bad just now, and considering you knocked me out and brought me to this secret factory, I've decided I'll let you live, at least until sunrise." Gao Ning hesitated. So, they're clearly trying to overwhelm us with numbers. Shouldn't you be calling for backup? She answered flatly, "I tried, there's no signal, the call won't go through." He pressed, "Can't get through, doesn't the military have some kind of special tech, like a satellite locator or something?" Ning Er explained, "Very few positioning satellites survived the Great Cataclysm, they're only used for emergencies of the highest priority. We'll have to rely on ourselves. That said, I'm not exactly comfortable trusting you with my six, so, you have two choices, either you charge in first, or I kick you in first." Gao Ning suddenly crumpled to the ground, his face twisted in agony. "Ack, that hook-nosed bastard must have injured me earlier, my old wound is flaring up, I guess it's all up to you now." Ning Er's expression darkened as she watched the so-called actor, writhing on the ground, letting out pathetic groans. Gao Su roared, his patience gone, "Are you two done with your little chat, because I'm about to kill you both." As he lunged, Ning Er spun around, instantly on alert. With a single, effortless kick, she sent him flying. Her expression remained as cold as ice. The sight struck terror into Gao Ning's heart. He scrambled to make his final decision. "Fine, I'll pick elite difficulty. You bastard, you still haven't given me my hints, are you just going to wait for me to die?" Host has begrudgingly selected elite difficulty, commencing mission.